Joe Wilson, and Andrew Black. And then rounding out the forward lines, I mentioned Evan Peterson and Tim Harrison flip-flopped. Peterson was with Murphy and Panwick last week. He now takes Harrison's spot on Colgate's Haas line with Derek Freeman and Dan Getzler. And Peterson centers the line, the freshman from Lakeville, Minnesota, by way of Winnipeg, Manitoba. On the back end for Colgate, the same six for the Raiders as it has been most of the season. That means the captain, Spiro Galakis, with Jay Kulovich. The two have combined this year for 23 points and 6 goals. Kevin Laws with Brett Corky and Ryan Johnston with Brendan Corcoran. And in goal, the sophomore Charlie Finn at 13-5-1 with a 1.81 goals against and a .933 save percentage. Charlie Finn celebrating his birthday, a 1993 birth year, bidding for his 30th all-time win at Colgate. He is currently 11th on the all-time wins list at Hamilton. Now the lines and defense for Seth Appert's RPI Engineers, who come in at 7-16-1, 5-6 in ECAC hockey, and RPI already with as many losses right now this year as it had all of last year. The top offensive trio is Milos Bubella, centering Jacob LaLiberte and Matt Neal. Though again, RPI averaging less than 2 goals per game. Jimmy DeVito is a centerman with wingers Mark McGowan and Victor Liljegren. McGowan has killed the Raiders over the years. Zach Schrader is with Drew Melanson and Lou Nani, and Riley Morbide with Kenny Gillespie and Jake Wood. On the back end for Red Solier, it's drafted freshman Michael Kravavesis, the Dallas Stars prospect with Curtis Leonard, Chris Bradley with Craig Bokenfour, and Luke Karate with Jared Wilson. And in goal will be junior Jason Kastorf out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Kastorf is 7-10, 274 goals against, 910 save percentage. Kastorf, a former ECAC freshman of the year, was injured early last year and missed the majority of the season. This year his numbers have been slightly pedestrian compared to those of 2 years ago, and that is tonight's lineup. Earlier tonight I talked with Don Vaughn, the head coach of the Raiders, and let's go to that interview right now.
Colgate Raiders hockey on 94.9 Colgate is set to take on the RPI Engineers here at Houston Fieldhouse. Right now, joined by the head coach of the Raiders, Don Vaughn. Coach, before we talk about the St. Lawrence game, last week every team stepped up you were coaching St. Lawrence for some time. That's pretty tough, and it's very difficult to do since we haven't done a whole lot. So, I was pleased with our effort. I thought defensively, obviously, we played very solidly, but they're two tough buildings to play in against two very good teams. So anytime you can get on the road, but especially the North Country, you can get a couple of them. Thoughts on the game specifically against St. Lawrence? We're talking about the team that win over the Saints.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of the most fun games I've been in a long time. I mean, I don't say that lightly. I think the first period took 22 minutes to play, which is amazing. I mean, there were 8 face-offs. Face-offs are supposed to be 15 seconds in length, and obviously we hit that mark. But it was just really a great game. It was back and forth, and it almost had the feel of first goal wins. And Darcy made the great shot to get us up 1-0, and then again we didn't give them much. Charlie made a couple of huge saves. Overall, I was pleased with the effort against a very good team. Two different games in the country last weekend. We found a really different way, so I was really proud of that. Every time we go up there, one of the things we actually happened very quickly in that break, and the game-winning goal for St. Lawrence comes in on a rush. The shot misses the net, and then Ryan Johnston starts to play the other way. How much is that coaching? How much is that just execution in the situation? Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about that, but we see that often, actually. It's good scoring chance at one end, and then the net the other way. But we do spend a lot of time working on our fast break. It's something that we've done a lot of this year, so it was great to see that puck turn a little quicker and get up the ice. So again, something that we do work on, but great finish by Darcy, a real overpowering shot. We just really
as the game went on, you guys seem to pressure the points a lot, make Gavin Bailey the really portion of things as well as the rest of their defensemen. Talk about that point of emphasis, I guess, when they played the flustered St. Lawrence and you guys came out, blocked up the shooting lines and made them a little bit.
Yeah, and we wanted to do it under control because we have so much respect, especially for David. He's got great lateral mobility. He can escape pretty quickly and be around that area. So we wanted to contain but still be in the shooting range, and it's something we spent a lot of time doing with Tim Harrison, Ridge, Andrew Black. I mean, the guys that don't get a lot of numbers we're working with closely, but they're doing a great job with that part of our team right now. I'm really happy with that, particularly
Where's that
some of the bigger saves he's made this year. This is huge. It's got to be top 2, but he talked about it. He knew the shot was coming, and that's what he's so good at. But he tripped, and he actually was able to challenge right at the last second. Otherwise, I think it may not have been as dramatic. He would have been able to stop it and came over quicker. Kind of caught an edge, and was able to recover quickly. If he's not challenging, he doesn't get out to the top of the blue.
How it plays you guys in the game 2% more. When's the last time that you played a game?
Well, a long time. There was one time off the bat, maybe 4 years ago. I'll take that. I'll take the game. I thought the official last weekend was really they controlled the game not by marginal stuff, but by their presence and their communication. I thought it was a good it starts in the day. We really have a lot of respect for it. It's really big on the back. We want to get in they're a team that plays hard. Like a lot of teams know they've discussed like he wants to play with energy, and I'm expecting him to come really hard.
Thanks a lot for looking at and talking about it. We'll step aside for a 1 minute break and we'll listen to Colgate Hockey right here on 94 KXC.
Colgate Raiders hockey on 94 KXC, coming to you from Shore, New York at Houston Fieldhouse. We're moments away from Colgate and RPI, the 120th all-time meeting between the Raiders and the Engineers. And Rensselaer is Colgate's oldest rival, having met for the first time back in the early 1900s, back in late teens. On the MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard tonight in ECAC hockey, it's Clarkson at Harvard, St. Lawrence at Dartmouth, Cornell at Union, Yale at Brown, and then one non-league game involving an ECAC side. Quinnipiac is at Merrimack. And that is your MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard. And we're just about set here. The Raiders will start with the legit Black and Joe Wilson pairing. Rensselaer will counter with its top trio of Matt Neal, Milos Rubella, and Jacob LaLiberte. And we are underway here from Rensselaer. RPI will move from left to right in the home whites. Quick wrist shot off the draw to save by Charlie Finn on his 22nd birthday. And Colgate controls the rebound, and Joe Wilson will stick handle through the neutral zone. Colgate right to left, or left to right across your radio dial. Andrew Black right corner of the offensive zone. And coming out of the corner, Joe Wilson with a bad angle shot. Steered away by the RPI defense and cleared for the shoot right back in by Jake Kulovich. RPI unbeaten in its last 5 against Colgate, 4-0-1. The Engineers with a 4-win advantage in the all-time series. RPI last year winning here 6-2, and then in Hamilton a 1-1 overtime tie, which RPI scored in the final minute of regulation, and then nearly won the game, but had a potential game-winning goal called off. No score early on here, opening minute. Colgate rushing from left to right. First shift to the Cornwall line. Tyson Spink will hammer the puck in. 7-game point streak for Tyson. Now Kyle Bond left corner separates the puck from an RPI defenseman, brings it around the end boards, but it's still away by Curtis Leonard. RPI playing its first home game in nearly 2 months. Last played at home in mid-November. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone, rolling into the Colgate zone. And Tyson Spink coming on the back check will scoop it up and start to play the other way with no score. Minute 25 gone by in the opening period. Colgate winners of 4 straight, and a whistle at RPI trying to come back in over the Colgate stripe, called for offsides with 1:31 gone by in front of a largely empty Houston Fieldhouse. Kind of a disappointing crowd for a Friday night. There's seats around 3/4 of the playing surface in a horseshoe style. And a lot of the seats right now are empty, with fans still streaming through the exits just off to our rights coming into the building. But kind of a disappointing crowd here on a Friday night. Though the year that RPI has had, you can't necessarily blame the locals. No score, back to live action. Minute 30 gone by here. Colgate and Rensselaer from Houston Fieldhouse. Reminder, the Raiders are back home next weekend with Dartmouth and Harvard in town. Tickets are available at Star Rink. The Raiders putting on the forecheck pressure with Harrison, Panawick, and Murphy on the ice. Murphy with a big body check in the RPI defensive zone, but Mark McGowan will skate the puck clear. Laid on ahead for a chip and chase for Victor Liljegren, a freshman for RPI, digging the puck out of the right corner of the Colgate zone. Liljegren up top for Karate, screen shot, and a score! 2 minutes and 8 seconds into the hockey game. Luke Karate with a seeing eye shot. Charlie Finn did not see it, and it's in the back of the net for a 1-0 RPI lead. Finn looked shell-shocked. There was a delayed reaction, and RPI's ahead here at home. Looking at the replay on RPI TV, there was definitely a redirection of the shot. So it's RPI 1, Colgate nothing. And the teams have lined up at center ice, but the officials will take a look at this here. I'm not sure what, and looking at the replay, there was an RPI player that had gone slightly through the crease, McGowan, but he had vacated it before the time the puck got there. And the officials are looking, I believe, to see if whether McGowan interfered with Finn, and there was no interference. In fact, McGowan was to Finn's right, though he screened Finn's vision coming across, which allowed Karate to get the shot close to the net, and Finn just could not react quick enough, and the officials quickly signal goal. And Luke Karate, the 6'5" bruising defenseman and a captain, has his first goal of the season, and one of very few in his career, in fact just his third. And a not very good start, at least in the score column for Colgate, as Karate makes it 1-0 for Rensselaer, a team that recently lost 9 games in a row. Mind you, RPI nearly is at its scoring average for the season with less than 2 goals per game, but the Cherry and White here with a 1-0 lead early. Daniel Gensler over the RPI line blows a tire, and the Engineers quickly control the puck from right to left here, but a takeaway on the forecheck by Evan Peterson. Peterson tied along the right wing wall by Chris Bradley. Puck comes free back to the right point. Galakis, screen shot, didn't make it through traffic, and then Gensler, rather than going for the puck, cross-checked Bokenfor, and RPI is able to clear the zone, and Bokenfor skating off slowly behind the play, favoring his arms. Colgate into the offensive zone after an RPI pass the other way, with 3 minutes gone by in the first, of the Engineers up 1-0. Colgate now back to its own zone after an RPI clear, and Bokenfor getting attention on the Rensselaer bench with 3 minutes gone, and RPI up 1-0. Engineers coming off a 5-2 destruction of Princeton. That was down at Hobie Baker Rink to end a 9-game losing streak. Colgate on the chip and chase with senior Joe Wilson playing in what may be his final game here in Troy. Wilson to the right half wall for Kevin Law. Law spinning out of the corner on his forehand. Pass back to the line, loses steam, but it's intercepted by Matt Neal. Officially on the goal, Mark McGowan will be credited and give Luke Karate an assist. So no goal for the big man. He'll stay with 2 for his career. RPI offensive zone left play confidently. Leonard now with a screenshot, blocked out its way to the goal. RPI holds the zone offensive end left. Again, Leonard, high left, screenshot, kicked on net, off the front of the boot of Neal. Save made by Finn, and RPI has made it clear they want to put traffic in front of the Colgate net. Leonard left point one more time, looking for a shooting lane. This time Black will come out and pressure him out high. Colgate was very successful with that against St. Lawrence last week, not allowing Gavin Bayreuther shooting lanes. RPI looking for a shooting lane out top. Bouncing puck kept inside the restraining line by Michael Prapavesas, a freshman, but RPI pulls off the forecheck pressure, and Colgate will go back to behind its own net and hold, and there may have been a delayed offside there, which is why RPI pulled the pressure back. 4.5 minutes gone by in the first, 1-0 RPI, and a goal by Mark McGowan at 2:08. He has been a Raider killer in his career. Cornwall line back out for Colgate. Bond simply pushed away from the puck by Lou Nanny, and RPI is out in transition, but a back-checking Tyler Spink slows the play at center shield. Picked up and whirled in by Chris Bradley with just about 5 minutes gone by in the first, and already 1-0 RPI, and a big collision to the right corner of the Colgate zone as Ryan Johnston takes out 2 Engineers, but he can't win the puck away. Chris Bradley pinching from the left point, canceled out by Kyle Bond. RPI is able to hold the zone just barely with Bradley, backhanding the puck down low for the chase by Dribble Ensign, another RPI freshman. Co-team leader in points coming into the weekend with all of 11. Colgate, meanwhile, has 2 players, Bond and Tyson Spink, both nearing 20. But the Engineers here have a 1-0 lead as Colgate comes from left to right across your radio dial. Tyson Spink chip and chase against Prapavesas, 2 Ontario natives. Prapavesas won the foot race, and then Tyson took him into the boards. But Colgate again cannot win the puck, and RPI has had the better so far of the possession and a 1-0 lead. Galakis slows RPI in the Colgate end, and he has been so good all year at doing just that, and he's played in every game. Now a bounce off Harrison's foot comes out in front of the Rensselaer goal, and Kastorf sweeps the puck away. Kastorf a couple of years ago here outdueled Eric Mahalik in a terrific 2-1 game. One of the more exciting college hockey games I think I've seen. Right now here, very quiet at Houston Fieldhouse. Bad angle shot off the dump in by Liljegren, and a save made to the birthday boy Finn. Colgate controls the rebound with Panwick in the right corner now for Kulovich, the 10-point scorer, and Harrison will start the controlled breakout for Colgate. Nothing doing for the Raiders in the neutral zone. RPI clogging it up. Look for the Engineers to play the trap in the middle, though occasionally break from that trap and bring 2 men into the forecheck, which has usually given Colgate fits, or at least it has over the last few years. Colgate seniors have never beaten Rensselaer. Now Gensler to the offensive zone. One of those seniors with a shot blocked right off his stick, and Colgate's got to hustle back the other way. RPI's got a developing rush with 220-pounder Kenny Gillespie. The big power forward. RPI holds the zone coming into the left wing corner with the puck is Riley Bourbon, a sophomore. Had all of 1 point last year, but this year has 9 on 4 goals and 5 assists. Just about 7 minutes gone by here in the first. Hip check takes down Derek Freeman trying to come out of his own zone. Turnover, but Colgate's got it right back after a bad RPI touch. Colgate into the neutral zone. Gensler trying to spring Freeman ahead of a breakaway, but Karate out-skating Gensler as the couple of big boys there lumbered up the ice. And the puck back in the neutral zone, and shots on goal right now, unofficially 2-0, according to the scoreboard of so far what's been kind of a black game each way, to be perfectly honest. Colgate will shoot in from center red, leading, or trailing, I should say, 1-0. Though the Raiders scoring in the first period as of late has been few and far between, if any. Colgate had 2 in the first against Robert Morris, but since coming back from Christmas, that's been it. Colgate dump and chase with John Lidgett leading the charge, the senior from Calgary. Chipping it left corner where it's stolen away by Milos Bubella. Colgate pinching with Brendan Corcoran into the left wing corner in a 4-player pileup. Corcoran slowly slides the puck free. The +6 defenseman is a senior, but just nobody winning the puck along the wall, and Bubala carrying it the other way for RPI. Matt Neal scoots over the line, kicks the puck to his stick, but offsides the call with 7:58 gone by in a sloppily played first period. The game right now looks to be about the crowd. The crowd looks ugly, so is this game so far, with RPI leading 1-0. They got a goal by Mark McGowan. Mentioned McGowan has flustered the Raiders over the years, and McGowan's numbers against Colgate are very, very good. The senior now with 8 points on 4 goals, 4 assists. Cornwall line out for Colgate. That group really has not done much against Rensselaer. Seth Appert's teams have found a way to slow the Cornwall kids down. Colgate offensive zone right, Tyson Spink right corner, the 10-goal scorer. Now for twin brother Tyson left corner, up top, quick shot, Galakis blocked right off his stick by Lou Noddy. A freshman from Minnesota, related his grandfather, Minnesota North Stars GM. Cornwall line right back in, Tyson give and go with Tyler. Tyson carrying deep right corner and a whistle, and Kyle Bond in a physical battle to the right of the net ends up knocking the goal off its moorings. With 11:29 to play in the first, and Rensselaer ahead 1-0. Got a goal by Mark McGowan. RPI this year 7-16-1, 5-6 in league play. RPI has already finished its season series and league games with Union and Harvard. And in 11 games, RPI already midway through its ECAC league schedule, and just 10 league games remaining for the Engineers on the schedule because of a front-loaded schedule, playing Harvard twice due to Harvard not wanting to double up during the Beanpot weekends. And RPI hemmed into its own zone. Curtis Leonard looking hesitant. Now RPI breaks the full-court press. Hustling up the ice is senior Zach Schrader, but he's closed out on a good shoulder check by Darcy Murphy just over the Colgate stripe. RPI offensive zone left. Kevin Law takes the puck away behind the net from Lou Noddy, and Law now skating away from pressure as Colgate trails 1-0 here in the opening frame in Troy at Houston Fieldhouse. Right now the Raiders not looking like a team that's won 4 in a row, but it's still very early here in Troy, and lots of hockey left to go, so don't turn that radio dial on 93.9 FM and WKXEFM.com. Tyson Spink trying to stop and go move around Luke Karate. Now Kyle Bond picks up the puck, left circle, hash marks. Up top, Ryan Johnston. He'll sachet around Melanson. Johnston looking to shoot. Now double teamed and forced to the right half wing. Johnston free of the double team pressure. Got too fancy there with the puck, and RPI knew he wanted to play the puck there and try to get a shot off. Bond, right point on the forehand. 2 players pressuring him. Right dot, Tyson Spink carrying into the high slot. Leave off for Bond. Rising wrist shot, save made by Kasdorf. Rebound squirts into the left wing corner. Played along by Bond behind the net for Tyson Spink. Back up top, right point, Ryan Johnston. Johnston scales the puck down the right wall. Left corner, Kyle Bond. Bond, chip behind the net for Tyson Spink. Pass back to the right point, but Ryan Johnston had cut toward the middle of the ice. And Colgate looking like maybe it still needs to wake up a bit here. This puck will go down the ice about 120 feet or so away. And the Raiders will regroup trailing 1-0. 9:40 left to play and quickly moving first. Much like last Saturday night, but already with a goal scored. As RPI leads 1-0, and Peterson eats a check just across the RPI line. Trapavesis blows a tire coming through the neutral zone, nearly slides baseball style through the legs of Peterson. And the Engineers will ease back into their own end with the home whites and the RPI shield on the front of the jersey, replacing what has been a traditional RPI diagonal in lettering. RPI offensive zone left after a takeaway, but Galakis quickly quells the play, stealing the puck away from the RPI forwards, and now he and Kulovich will use the end wall to play catch. Body check dislodges Peterson of the puck, but working back deep in the defensive zone, Kulovich breaks up an RPI potential chance after the Raider turnover. Colgate at times in this game is trying to be a bit too fancy for its liking. The Raiders just kind of need to bulldoze forward on ahead, here trailing 1-0 in the first period. Now Joe Wilson's got rockets in his skates to the offensive zone, carrying deep behind the RPI net. Pass out front into one-time chip by Lidgett. Stopped easily by Kasdorf. Then after the play, Lidgett is shoved down to the ice by Borbide. And a whistle stops play with 8:37 left in the first, and Colgate behind 1-0. The Raiders this year, when allowing the first goal, 3-5-1. RPI when scoring first this season. The Engineers are 3-1, so just the 5th time this season now in 25 games that RPI has been the team to draw first blood. So that's not necessarily great news for the Raiders, but a lot of hockey left to go, and a Raiders sloppy turnover, offensive zone left, and a chip through the low slot just misses Matt Neal, and the fans hollering for a potential holding call on Colgate. The Raiders clear the zone, 8:17 to play in the first, 1-0 for the Cherry and White. Neutral zone takeaway, Wilson comes in on side, sidesteps Neal, who threw an elbow, missed Wilson completely, and the Raiders will reset the neutral zone, and Joe Wilson will trigger in. Now goes to the bench for a line change. Forward lines have been in flux throughout the season for Colgate, and since the holiday break, the only line that really remained as steady is the Cornwall line. RPI to the offensive zone, the Laliberte, Neal, and Bubella line is out. Bubella deep left corner, pass out top, Chris Bradley trying to find a man in the slot, the pass too hard, and banked off the low glass and out to center by Colgate with 7:40 to play in the first and a 1-0 deficit. Before RPI's current streak of 4-0-1, the Raiders were 26-2 against the Engineers, but a hooking call coming up on Colgate in the neutral zone as someone got loose with a stick, with RPI leading 1-0 at 7:33 left in the first, and Harrison the offending party. Shots on goal unofficially 2-2.
Penalty number 19, Tim Harrison. He receives 2 minutes for hooking.
RPI fans saying that each Colgate player whose name over the PA is read, saying that he performs the motion of a vacuum. Now, ECAC, you've got a lot of smart kids going to a lot of very good schools. One would think they'd get a thesaurus and maybe vary up the vocabulary a bit. So Harrison for hooking is off, and RPI goes to the power play, and Lidgett rips the puck away at the top of the Colgate rings and hammers it down the ice. Colgate PK was unblemished last weekend up in the North Country, and the Raiders have allowed 10 power play goals, 87.3%. Actually checked that 2 for 2 against St. Lawrence, 0 for 1 against Clarkson. So just 3 chances altogether last weekend, and RPI with an early power play here. The Engineer power play 11 for 73, or 15.1%. Really missing Ryan Haggerty, the departed sniper that went to the New York Rangers organization. Chris Bradley quarterbacking, he'll hammer the puck in down the left boards with a slap shot. Darcy Murphy, right corner, knocks down the puck, lays it off for Joe Wilson, and Joe Wilson skating up with a backhander, banks the puck off the leg of Bradley in the center zone. RPI power play looking about as ugly as this game has been so far. Shots on goal in the game last year here, 17-14, and it's not scorers being stingy. We've not seen a lot of shots get through, and the fans getting restless as RPI discombobulated in its own zone, taking lots of time, finally starting to move right to left. Neal carries in right side. Galakis jumps at his grill, knocks the puck away, and it's rolling back to the RPI zone for Curtis Leonard. Give away to Kyle Bond. Bond 1-on-3, tries to deke, can't get a shot off. Up top, Law with a one-timer racing into the zone. Shot missed the net. Johnston high right looking to stick handle. RPI fans screaming at the players to get the puck back for lackadaisical poor play. And to whistle it offsides on Colgate as Bond vacating the zone. Took a pass, and before he could turn around and carry it in, he was called for offsides, as he was still in the zone when he took the pass. 5:53 left in the first, 1-0 RPI. Goal by McGowan at 2:08 from Karate, and 20 left on the penalty to Harrison. Raiders hockey tonight brought to you by Time Warner Cable. More of the college hockey you love on more screens and more places in and out of your home. Time Warner Cable, enjoy better. Fans are restless for not having seen this team for nearly 2 months. RPI right to left on the power play. La Liberté leading out ahead for Schrader. La Liberté half wall left side. Pass too hard for him. Lose the point man Bradley. And that will be it for the Colgate man disadvantage. And the Raiders kill off the 80th opposition power play this season. One of the big reasons why Colgate has been so good the last 2 years is that the PK has been much, much improved. Whereas in the past it has been average to slightly okay at best. RPI now holding, trying to lull Colgate to sleep here with a rockabye. And now the Engineers will shoot forward. An icing is called. 5:08 left in the first. 1-0 for the Cherry and White. Again, Colgate scoring-wise in the first period, just 2 goals in their last 5 games. Actually make that 4. Colgate had 1 in the first against Providence. Face-off near side right, offensive zone right. Tonight's game brought to you by McDonald's. Come on into McDonald's today and get a classic quarter pounder with cheese, medium-sized extra value meal. That's only $3.99 and available for a limited time only at McDonald's on Lebanon. Panawick, Harrison, Murphy, Law, Corky, the 5 of the ice for the Maroon. Face-off win back to Lowe with a drive, and he scores! Kevin Lowe with a low Raider rocket. A screenshot goal knots the game at 1, the equalizer with 5:02 left in the first. Terrific job to win the face-off by Colgate. As Murphy got the puck free of the scrum, laid it back to Law, and Harrison screening in front. Leapt out of the way of the shot, and it's Kevin Law's second goal of the season. So we're all square, 1-1. Colgate on unofficially shot number 4 of the game. And we're all tied here at Houston Fieldhouse in Troy. Now it's Law top of zone rings. A wrestling match going out away from the play in the neutral zone as Leonard and Murphy got tied up, nearly a collar and elbow tie-up. And now Law shoots in, and Leonard pinballs into him. RPI now will hold the puck in its own zone again, trying to lull Colgate to sleep here. Very exciting hockey. Unofficially shots of 3-2. Prapavessis in his own end, highly touted defenseman, draft pick of the Dallas Stars. Now RPI finally will attack from right to left. Puck ricochets off the corner boards, comes back out to center, and Leonard piles it back in, but offsides is called. PA announcer stumbling on Mike Panowick's name as the goal is announced, but Kevin Law will get the goal for Colgate to tie the game 1-1. Panowick and Murphy get the assists on the goal, and now Panowick and Murphy have had a hand in 2 of Colgate's last 3 goals. And in front of the Raider bench, Brendan Corcoran knocked over on a body check from golfer Craig Bokenford, part of the RPI golf team. Went down after a cross check of the arms earlier from Gensler. Looks like he's all right, so good to see him back out there. 4 minutes to play in the first. Colgate and RPI tied 1-1. Colgate comes in offside. Peterson quickly lets the puck go free. RPI clears, and Black rips it right back in, then gets sent into the turnbuckle at the RPI bench, and a body check by Melanson. And the Engineers again will stand around and hold. Hopefully Seth Appert's not getting paid for the number of shots on goal his team takes, as this game has been very, very ugly. Colgate to the offensive zone, Cornwall line out, Bond in the slot, on the forehand, shoots low, and the shot blocked by Prapavessis, diving in front of the net, standing up to block the shot. RPI controls the rebound. The Engineers in no hurry to move up ice. Bubella gets away from Bond, who went to tomahawk him with his stick. And the Raiders take the puck away in the neutral zone, right back in onside. Tyler Spink down the right wing, deep into the left corner for Tyson. Off the corner boards for Bond. Bond, diagonal pass, high right, Galakis. He'll flip the puck into the end zone mesh atop the seamless end glass with exactly 3 minutes to play in the first, and the score tied 1-1. Raiders back at it tomorrow night against Union. That game of the Electric City at Mesa Rink. 7 o'clock puck drop, 6:45 pregame time right here on KXE. Raiders Hockey Tonight brought to you by Ray's Wayside at 44 Milford Street in Hamilton. Not only your Pittsburgh paint dealer, but Eddie and the rest of the gang always rooting on the Raiders of Colgate University. Face off offensive zone right, near side right. 3 minutes to play in the first. It's Colgate and RPI deadlocked 1-1. Goals tonight by McGowan and Law. Line's been taking a while. Ryan Knapp to drop the puck, and finally it's one. Back to Prapavessis, who will carry behind the RPI net. And surprise, surprise, he stands there and waits. The Engineers again averaging less than 2 goals per game, but it's easy to see why. Now Leliberte, separation right side, a bad angle shot. Charlie Finn makes the save. Rebound controlled and cleared out by Colgate, the 5th best defensive team of the nation, allowing less than 2 goals per game and having allowed just 3 in the last 4. And Charlie Finn with 4 shutouts. Finn, oh, by the way, now 5 in his career, and that's in the top 10 all-time at Colgate. He's only a few away from 3rd place as well. Panowick out of his own zone, loses the handle of neutral ice. 2:15 left to play in the first. 1-1 Colgate and Rensselaer. The all-time record holder, Mark Dekanich, with 11. Dekanich had 6 as a senior, so Charlie Finn ahead of the pace. That was set not too long ago by Mark Dekanich, the current KHL netminder. 4-player pile-up, Colgate zone to the right of Charlie Finn, near side left. La Liberté in the midst of that corner battle. The former Cornwall Colt played with all 4 of Colgate's Cornwall players. Bokenford down from the blue line, simply knocked off the puck. Law falls down. Colgate can't get it out though, and a blue line shot. Finn sees it, but it misses the net wide right. Moving down the left boards is McGowan. Puck deflects off his stick and a Colgate stick and goes over the glass and out of play with 1:39 to go in the first, and RPI and Colgate tied 1-1. Last year here, the game probably is one of the weirdest I think I've seen. Colgate had over 17 minutes of power play time, 1 power play goal. There were 3 5-minute majors called on RPI and 2 game misconducts. The Engineers finished the game with 16 skaters and won 6-2 as Colgate, Charlie Finn, Spencer Finney, and Eric Mahalik all played in the game for the Raiders. Galakis with a red line hammer drives the puck in. Wonder what he would do off the tee box over at Seven Oaks. Minute 22 to play in the first, 1-1 our score. Johnston, right wing side, can't hold the puck in as it spins off his stick and goes deep into the Colgate end. Galakis will come back for it for Colgate. Now a Raider giveaway, all alone in front. Liljegren with a shot and a save made by Finn. Liljegren breaking in down the left flank, and Finn came out to challenge him. Now Leonard, a screen shot left side, missed the net. Again, more traffic in front. White jerseyed, red bucketed players. Johnston with a takeaway behind the Raider net. Fans saying that Clarkson still stinks with 1 minute remaining here in the first, and RPI, biggest rival outside of Union, would be the other engineering school in the league, Clarkson. And now Colgate will hold as the Raiders get a line change here. Galakis standing and waiting, the senior captain. What a job he has done in 2 years of the C for Colgate. First player in a long time to don the C in 2 straight campaigns. Giveaway in the neutral zone by Kulovic to Melanson. 30 seconds to play. Colgate mucks up the neutral zone. Now Bokenfour awkwardly skates to the offensive zone. Bokenfour into the right corner, forced into the boards by Derek Friedman. 2 big hosses getting after it. Puck rolls free in behind the cage. Melanson against Kulovic. Puck rolls free of those 2. Right to Gensler for the fluttering clear. And now a bouncing puck down at solid red. Rimmed in by Peterson. Gensler a one-man forecheck, and this is how the period will come to an end with RPI and Colgate so far in an interestingly played game, tied 1-1. Unofficially through 20 minutes, shots on goal 3-3. Ideally that number is not correct, but we shall see. And again after 1 here in Troy, it's Colgate and RPI tied 1-1. McGowan at 2:08, Law with just over 5 minutes to play in the first. Those 2 goals cancel one another out, and we're all square moving forward. We're going to take a 3-minute break, come back with your first intermission report. Again at the end of 1, RPI 1, Colgate 1. Back after 3 minutes, 94 KXZ. Wow, that was maybe 25 minutes. Oh, that's correct. 3-3.
Okay, folks, we direct your attention to the east end of the arena, and it's time to give away some money. Inside the 60 money machine, there is $1,000. Our contestant tonight is the donation. You'll have 30 seconds to tell us how much you can while it's flying around inside the 60 money machine. The best part is you get to keep whatever you can hold on to. We'll be ready here for this one, folks. Okay, looks like we're just about set to go, folks. Okay, we're gonna count it down for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Okay. Okay. Hello again, friends, and welcome back to Colgate Raiders Hockey on 94 KXZ. One period down tonight here at Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York, in New York's Capital District. The Stones throw away from the state capital of Albany, and through one period of play, much like politics, we are deadlocked. The score 1-1, and that's enough political commentary moving along here. But that's what we have through 20 minutes of play here in Troy. And let's look at the numbers. And as we went to break, we mentioned shots in the first period. Shots on goal 3-3. That, unfortunately, for either team is not a misprint. Total shots attempted 9-9. Other numbers from the first. There was one power play as Tim Harrison went off for a late hook. Colgate killed off the power play, so Rensselaer 0 for 1 on the power play. Colgate now has gone 4 straight periods without a power play opportunity this evening. And dating back to the St. Lawrence game, Colgate only had 2 power plays as well in the Clarkson game 1 week ago tonight. Goals were at 2:08 of the first. The first, Mark McGowan, a screenshot from Luke Karate, and give a secondary assist on the goal to the freshman from Sweden, Victor Liljegren. So officially the first RPI goal reads McGowan, his 3rd of the season, 4th against Colgate from Karate and Liljegren. Colgate then at 14:58 of the first, the equalizer. Kevin Law with a blue line drive off a Colgate face-off win, with the assists going to Darcy Murphy and Mike Panawick to tie the game 1-1. For Darcy Murphy, now a career-high 10 assists this season. Mind you, Darcy had few and far between assists his first 2 campaigns. And 10 assists now this year for Darcy Murphy, who's done a really good job being more of an all-around offensive player rather than just a goal scorer. And for Mike Panawick, his 3rd assist of the season as well. And again, the blue line shot by Law tied the game 1-1 at 14:58. Goalie numbers, even each way. Jason Kastorf and Charlie Finn with 2 shots on 3 saves. The only penalty I mentioned was at 12:27. Tim Harrison for hooking, as his stick got a little loose in the neutral zone and grabbed an RPI player around the arm. And, well, that really was it. In terms of the first period numbers, again, a very slowly played at times first period. RPI made it clear it wanted to slow down Colgate, not allow the Raiders to get out and skate. And RPI did a lot of holding and stalling and waiting around for the chances to build up. The RPI power play looked very, very disjointed when it was on the ice. Credit Colgate some for that, and RPI just did not look good. The first man advantage of the evening. And Colgate, we'll see when the Raiders get their opening power play. Regardless, here in Troy, 1-1 through 1. We're going to step aside here for a 3-minute timeout. Come back with the MBT Bank Out of Town scoreboard, as well as your first intermission trivia, as we always do. Through 1 period here tonight at Houston Fieldhouse in Troy. It's Colgate 1, RPI 1. Back after 3 minutes, and you are listening to Colgate Raiders Hockey right here on 94 KXZ. I suppose so. Okay. Well, again, friends, welcome back to Colgate Raiders Hockey here on 94 KXE, coming to you from Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Colgate and RPI tied 1-1 through one period of play. Let's go to the MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard as we're back here at the first intermission. Again, our score 1-1 with goals tonight from the Colgate killer, Mark McGowan, and from Colgate's Kevin Law. Here's what we have so far. All games going on are in the first period or at the end of the first. Starting off in ECAC League play, we've got Clarkson leading Harvard. That has to be the surprise of the night. The Golden Knights up on the Cantabs 2-1 in Cambridge. That's a Harvard team that's only lost 2 times in 14 games. Both of those losses coming to the Yale Bulldogs. Over in Thompson Arena, Hanover, New Hampshire, St. Lawrence 1, Dartmouth nothing. That's the end of the first period. Late first period in the Electric City, where we will be tomorrow. Cornell 1, Union nothing. Both teams starving for points right now, as Union 4-5-1 in the league with just 9 points. Cornell with 8 points at 4-4, and we'll see the Red in a couple of weeks' time. The final weekend of the January month, with Cornell in town on that Friday and the Raiders over at Lina on Saturday. And then midway through the first in Providence, Yale and Brown, no score in the first game of a home-and-home between the two travel partners. One game involving a league team out of the conference. It is Quinnipiac at Merrimack tonight. Yeah, that has got to be an announcer's nightmare right there. The Warriors of Merrimack lead Quinnipiac by a score of 2-1 in North Andover at the end of one period of play. Moving along, let's go to the national scoreboard here, courtesy of collegehockeyinc.com, with about 4 minutes until the start of period number 2. Again, Colgate and RPI tied 1-1. We'll start in Atlantic Hockey out of the first just about across the board. No score, Holy Cross at Mercyhurst. Robert Morris leads AIC 1-0. RIT 2, Sacred Heart nothing. That's at in Milford, Connecticut. Just underway in Buffalo at Harbor Center. Bentley and Canisius, no score. And then the one AHA late start in Colorado Springs. Army is at Air Force. Over in the Big Ten tonight, Michigan continuing its hot play in the conference, leading Ohio State 4-1 with about 4 minutes to go there in the opening frame in Columbus. Michigan State 1-0 over Penn State late first in State College. And then a 9 o'clock start East Coast time. Wisconsin is at Minnesota in the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Hockey East games going on tonight. You've got 5 of them. Battle of Comm Ave at Aganis. 5:33 left in the first. BC up on BU 1-0. UMass Lowell 2, Maine nothing. End of the first up in Maine. UNH and UMass tied 1-1 late first at Amherst. Northeastern and Vermont the same score, 1-1 late first at the Gut. And then starting just underway, UConn is at Notre Dame. NCHC games tonight, all later starts. Western Michigan at Minnesota Duluth, Omaha at CC, and St. Cloud at Denver. In the WCHA, 3 of 5 games currently being played. Minnesota State leading Ferris State 1-0 end of the first. Late first up to the UP. Michigan Tech and Bowling Green are scoreless. Same score, Bemidji and Lake State just underway from Taffy Able Arena in the Sioux. And then the later starts Northern Michigan at Alabama Huntsville. And out in the 49th state, the first game in the Alaska series, it is tonight Anchorage at Fairbanks, and that is an 11:07 start Eastern time. One other game tonight involving 2 non-league opponents. Niagara is at North Dakota, and I've got a feeling that one may not quite end well for the Purple Eagles, who have struggled mightily this season against a North Dakota team that at times this year has been very good. So that is the end of tonight's NBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard. Rolling along here, we're at the first intermission, getting you set for Colgate and RPI second period action. The Raiders, again, have been outstanding in the second period in this second half of the season. Much like last year, the same story. Colgate was outstanding in the second and rode that wave to 13 second-half wins and eventually the NCAA tournament in the Queen City of Cincinnati against Ferris State. And we'll see if Colgate can keep up second period scoring what prior, coming into the second half of the season, had been the worst period offensively all year long for the Raiders. As Colgate, remember, coming into last weekend was 49th in the nation in second period goals. And who'd have thunk it? 3 second period goals last week, 2 against Clarkson and 1 against St. Lawrence. Tonight's question involves Colgate and RPI as the Engineers take the ice for period number 2, led by Jason Kastorf. A couple of years ago here, Colgate and Rensselaer met in the playoffs, and this is a very easy question, and occasionally we like to have easy ones, see how many people can get it right. And if you are listening and you are the person that scored the goal, please do not answer. But the question, fairly simple. Last year, RPI went to the NCAA tournament. Colgate knocked RPI off in the opening round of the ECAC playoffs in this very building. The series went 3 games, and the ultimate deciding game was a double overtime thriller here in Troy, with Colgate winning by a final score of 2-1. Who scored the game-winning goal in that game for Colgate? Again, if you know the answer, you can tweet me at John McGraw PBP, and that is tonight's trivia here from Troy. Who scored the double overtime winner over the Cherry and White here back in the 10-11 season that sent Colgate on to play Union the following week? And of course, we all know what happened there against the Dutchmen. Looking forward for Colgate, again, 1 week from tonight, the Raiders will be back home against Dartmouth. First of 2 at home at Stahl Rink, and 5 of 6 at Colgate, with the only road game being at Cornell, which, well, is a road trip, not a very long one. Shots on goal through 1, 3-3, score 1-1 through 1, and we are underway here for period 2 at Houston Fieldhouse. And Donnie Vaughn's Colgate Raiders will move from right to left across your radio dial here at Houston Fieldhouse, and the legit Joe Wilson and black line will start for the maroon and white. Colgate will play chip and chase out of the gate. 15 seconds gone by in the third. RPI quickly takes the puck away. Bokenfour leads Neal to the offensive zone. Now La Liberté down the right wing side, the 11-point scorer, maybe a 100-point guy at RPI in his career. He was in the early 70s at the holiday break, and an RPI pass back to the line will go down the length of the ice, and Bokenfour will go have to grab it along with his defensive mate Bradley. An errant pass by Bradley through the neutral zone ends up deep in the Colgate end for an icing call, and RPI tonight, and you can tell why this team has really struggled this year. Just some of the little things that you take for granted almost. RPI just is not doing those things right. RPI scored on its first shot on goal, but really the Engineers have not played a very good game tonight, and Colgate right now kind of needs to take the bull by the horns and take control of this hockey game. Cornwall lines out. Law high right after a face-off win. Screen shot and a save made by Kastorf. And the puck deflected up over the end glass and out of play, with the Engineers screen printed on the seamless end glass in behind the RPI net. That's the type of graphic you see when you're watching the Rangers on MSG, and you see kind of an advertisement along the glass, but that's TV generated, as here at RPI, Engineers is screen printed on the end glass behind the goal that Jason Kastorf is currently defending. RPI with the face-off win. The Engineers turn the puck over. Tyler Spink, a one-time shot from the right dot, missed the net. Tyson Spink controlling the puck left corner now for Bond. Back up top for Kevin Law. Colgate motion offense here. High right, Tyson Spink curls the puck into the right corner for Bond. Bond, the 18-point man with 8 goals, 10 assists. Law coming down from the point, drives to the low slot, but can't get a shot off. Got his hands tied up, couldn't get them free. Bond supporting the blue line, holds the puck into the right point with Colgate offensive zone left. Minute 19 gone by in the second. 1-1 Colgate and RPI, and that was the score in Hamilton last year in an overtime draw. The Engineers clear the zone and could have had a 2-on-1, but a pass out of the reach of Zach Schrader, an Engineer senior from Minnesota. His brother Jordan plays for the National Hockey League, and Kevin Law over solid red will float the puck to the Engineer zone. Murphy behind the RPI net, shoved into the boards, and he goes down. Very rare time that Darcy Murphy has taken off his skates on a good body check by Jared Wilson, a Western Canadian. RPI to the offensive zone, right down the right boards is Jimmy DeVito. DeVito spins to the forehand, looking to start a cycle here for Rensselaer. Now it's McGowan with the long hair spilling out the back of the helmet. Back to the right point, Wilson, screen shot with DeVito in front. Finn never saw the shot, but it was deflected to the end boards. 4-player pile up right corner, no score, 2:10 gone by in the second. 1-1 our score, Colgate and Rensselaer here from Houston Fieldhouse. And now Brendan Corcoran will skate away from the forecheck pressure of the Swede Victor Liljegren, who played his junior hockey in Alaska. So he grew up in Sweden, played his junior hockey in Fairbanks, and now he's here in Troy. I'm going to take a guess and say his parents will rack up the frequent flyer miles watching his games. 2:25 gone by here in the second. RPI again standing around and holding, waiting to get a change. Players go through the bench door, which is opened up by backup netminder Scott Diebold, who has struggled this year when he's played. When Jason Kastorf was out for a bit with an injury, Diebold 0-6-1. RPI offensive zone right. Pass back to the right point. Boken for. Tried to tee up the shot. Galakis blocked it. Loose puck high slot. Pumped on net, but missing wide left. RPI controls the rebound here in a 1-1 game. 3 minutes gone by in the second. In the right wing corner, Riley Bourbonnais. No relation to the former Yale skater Clinton Bourbonnais. 4-player pile up right corner. Colgate looking to slow the play down along the wall and get physical here with the Engineers. Losing an edge behind the net, Jake Wood. Stick joust to Spiro Galakis right corner, and Colgate wins the puck battle, and clearing the zone off the kick wall is Evan Peterson. Short offensive change for each team in this period. We'll see how that helps. Each team with a bench staggered into the offensive zone. Colgate's played here enough over the years, and with a veteran group that was all here just about last year, that should not be an issue here in this building. Here in a 1-1 hockey game, and an errant pass by Kulovic to the neutral zone, and the sloppiness that we saw in the first is slightly carried over here into the second. Kind of oozing, if you will, here into the middle frame. Lidgett stops up an RPI zone entry of Bubella, the Slovakian, across the line, and a whistle by linesman Knapp for offsides.
The following sponsors: GE, Bose, Sefcue,
Raiders Hockey tonight brought to you by many great sponsors, one of which tonight is Miles B. Marshall, offering auto, home, tenants, business, and life insurance. You can get most quotes over the phone in a matter of minutes, and if you need something notarized, Miles B. Marshall can do that too. Call Miles B. Marshall today, 315-824-2811. Back to live action. Colgate in its own zone. Kevin Law near turnover just to the left of Charlie Finn. Now the Raiders can't get the puck out against RPI for check pressure. La Liberté down low for Bubella. Puck too hard off the end boards. Snapped up by Lidgett and softly saucered out ahead. The puck will slowly steam through the neutral zone, and big Luke Karate back for it. One of 4 RPI captains suspended just after the new year. Missed an entire weekend. No real reason was given other than a violation of team rules, and the 4 players were back the weekend after a non-conference series in Miami. Colgate can't clear, and a blue line shot by Leonard misses that. He'll get another whack at it, and a save made by Finn. Rebound quickly played the other way by Joe Wilson. Joe Wilson in 1-on-2 wide left shooting, and a left shoulder save by Castor. Listeling lazily over to his left. He stops it and then grabs the rebound with 4:41 gone by in the second. 1-1 the score. On that last play for Curtis Leonard, he drilled a shot at the net, and it came off the end boards. Finn had to react quickly as Leonard hustled to it in the high slot with no one in the open space to play it. Face-off offensive zone left, near side left one to Johnston. RPI below 500 face-off percentage this year, and Colgate was outdrawn by RPI in the first. Johnston high right after Corcoran's seeing eye shot, went through traffic and got nowhere but into the right corner. Now Johnston out to center with Corcoran. They'll play catch. Corcoran, I mentioned earlier, a +6 rating this year. He has been terrific in spots for Colgate, the senior from the Bay State Breakers, by way of St. Sebastian's. Noddy with a headman pass for RPI, could not connect with freshman teammate Melanson. Nanny missed some time for RPI. Now the Cornwall line of the chance. Bond carries in 1-on-3. Bond waiting for reinforcements. Moved wide right. 2 RPI players double team him. Bond tips the puck free, and Colgate's got a chance. Right wing half wall, Tyson Spink trying to carry into the corner. Instead, the puck sticked away from him by Rensselaer, and coming up with it was Mike Prapavesis. His brother Matt, a senior captain at Bemidji State out west. 1-1 our score here, 14:20 to play in the second. What's been a very ugly game both ways without a lot of shots on goal. Melanson a stop and go move, a former Del Barton skater. He loses the handle, and RPI turns the puck over to Spiro Galakis. Wondering in the car on the drive up here who will wear the C for Colgate next year once Galakis graduates. I've got a few guesses, but I'll kind of hold my tongue in respect to the players and their decision. Galakis carrying deep into the offensive zone, a bad angle shot through the low slot. Carried out of the right wing corner by Darcy Murphy, all the way back out of the line. Murphy looking for space, left wing side with a wrist shot. And a save made by Kastorf, and some light pushing and shoving in front after the stop with 13:47 to go in the second and a 1-1 game. I've said it a lot over the last 3 years, and Darcy Murphy is a streaky scorer. When he gets going, the goals pile up, much like when Cookie Monster starts eating cookies. Murphy had a goal against St. Lawrence. We'll see if he can keep that streak alive, but only 5 goals this year from a player that had 19 a season ago and helping Colgate to the NCAA tournament. RPI left and right across your radio dial, 1-1 the score, 13.5 minutes to play, middle frame. RPI offensive zone right, Boken forward into the right corner, moving up from defense. Taking him into the boards is Derek Freeman. RPI comes out of the corner with a puck. Laid back to the line by Jimmy DeVito. Right side, Liljegren supporting the point with a wrist shot to the left corner. Stopped up by Gensler, trying to cycle it in the defensive zone. And Kevin Law will skate in like the wind. And now moving out ahead to Derek Freeman. Freeman moving up with a 2-on-2. Freeman along with Peterson. Freeman addresses one man, goes to the net, but loses the handle after showing off some nice forward skill. Liljegren the other way against the defenseman, waiting for help, and Corcoran forces him wide and simply to lay the puck down low here in a 1-1 game with more than 7 minutes gone by. Second period action, 1-1 the score, not a lot of goals, much like that game 2 here back in game 3, which Colgate won in double overtime 2-1. Trivia answer coming up second intermission, and RPI clears, and Corcoran mishandles the puck in his own zone, whiffs on it, and Charlie Finn forced to play it to Ryan Johnston as the aggressive RPI forecheck comes in. Now Bourbonnais with a takeaway right wing half wall. Bourbonnais knocked down by Lidgett, and the loose puck comes to Ryan Johnston. Good back-checking work with the senior from Calgary. Johnston looking like a forward, joining the rush on the chip and chase, forced into the right corner by Jared Wilson. Right wing wall, Andrew Black went to pass the puck up the boards, but nobody home. RPI with an offensive opportunity. A wrist shot in transition, missed everything. Joe Wilson fans at a clearing pass, but Lidgett is roommate right there to save the day and move the puck to center. Shots on goal, 6-4 for the Raiders. 12:02 to play in the second. Last goal by Kevin Law was at 14:58 of the opening frame, but equalizer to tie the game 1-1. Kulovich, left corner offensive zone, centering pass telegraphed and swatted away by Nanny from the slot. Tyson Spink left corner out for Tyler, but a shot knocked off his stick. Loose puck in front. Kastorf dives on the ground, and Tyler carries in left corner and went to pass the puck back out top, but it's tipped out to center on a good defensive stick play by Jake Wood. And now a neutral zone shot by Colgate is stopped and held by Kasdorf. 11:33 to go in the second, a 1-1 hockey game. A little too fancy right there from the Cornwall line, as it could have been a good chance, but an extra pass or two here or there. Raiders Hockey tonight brought to you by NBT Bank, proud sponsor of the Colgate Raiders. And NBT Bank reminds Raider fans that it offers personal banking, asset management, and business services from over 155 locations. To find one nearest you, visit them online at nbtbank.com, member FDIC. Shots on goal in the period, 4-1 for the Gate. Score, though, is 1-1. Again, last year here, the shots were 17-14 for an entire 60-minute game. We may be on that pace right now. Colgate's Cornwall line is out. Tyler Spink, right corner, right dot Tyson. Bad angle shot through the screen of Bond, didn't get to the net. Brett Corky holds high left. Spins the puck into the left wing corner. The Spink twins and Kyle Bond go after it. Now it rolls free to the right corner, and Kevin Law will pinch from defense. Law pinched to the boards by Bubella. Now goal line right, Tyson Spink out front for Tyler. Missed him, but RPI's got a 3-on-2 the other way if it hurries. Instead of carrying in, the Engineers want to dump and chase with McGowan throwing it in. Third offensive forward in down the right boards as DeVito. His pass broken up, and Colgate counterattacking. Tyson Spink and Mike Panowick 2-on-2. Tyson slams on the brakes left side. Now Panowick in front. Bond drives the net, backhand shot stopped. He's taken out, and a power play coming up for Colgate. That was actually Harrison driving the net that got taken out, and Colgate will go on its first power play since last Friday night against Clarkson. Tripping is the call on Rensselaer, and we'll see who the penalty is on. And the time of the call, 9:13 of period 2. Colgate power play 18.8%, or 16-4-85.
Time of the penalty, 9 minutes, 13 seconds.
And it comes on Jimmy DeVito.
2 minutes for tripping.
RPI PK 85 for 107. Colgate offensive zone left on the power play, 1-1 game. Kulovich left point. Now straight away for Johnston. High slot slip shot, and Panowick with a redirection. Toe save made by Kastorf. Rebound left point. Kulovich turns it over. RPI the chance the other way. Bubella 2-on-1 shooting, and a save made by Finn. No rebound given. Finn on his knees simply turns into a statue and holds out of the puck. And for the first time in a long time, the RPI fans is something to cheer about and a positive cheer. Good stop by Finn after a tough giveaway for Kulovich. One he does not make very often. So 10:27 to go in the second. Colgate's first power play of the night. The Engineers, remember, when they were on the power play, it was not very good. And we'll see what Colgate can counter with here in a game which, well, 2 goals might be enough. A near Colgate giveaway after Johnston wheeled out in front of his own net, skating backwards. Goodness gracious. And now Colgate will finally start from right to left. Again, too much fanciness tonight from Colgate. Murphy with speed to the offensive zone down the right flank. Carries behind the net and a backhand and loses the puck in the left wing corner. Another shorthand chance for RPI. It's McGowan with a stop and go move, simply bleeding time off the clock, and Kulovich relieves him of the puck here with under 10 minutes to play in the second, a 1-1 game. Again, this one not for the faint of heart in terms of, stellar play, but it is what it is at this point. Johnston will stick handle in. The second unit's been out the entire power play so far. Now Colgate's starting to get the change, and Tyler Spink with a rising wrist shot missed the net. Colgate changed on the fly. First group out, the Cornwall power play unit. Tyson Spink high right, cross ice too hard for Galakis, tipped back into the neutral zone. Bubella wins the puck away from Galakis. He'll move it forward 1-on-2. Now simply look to play keep away, and now he'll rim it around. Finn misses it behind the net, and Schrader will blast the puck out of the Colgate zone to the other end. RPI playing monkey in the middle as Colgate players chase here, and now RPI will send a shot from the red line that Finn is forced to stop. 1-1 the score, 20 seconds left here on the Raider power play. Galakis for Tyson Spink. He'll stick handle in through three players. Tyson down the left side, now in to join the fray. Harrison left corner. Tip to the left wing, half wall for Tyson Spink. High left for Tyler. Back to Tyson at the half wall. Goal line left, back to Tyson. He's in the slot and a backhand shot. Missed the net. Left wing corner for Tyler. Pass up top, deflected into the neutral zone, and it just missed Tim Harrison. The Raiders will move backwards with Harrison playing in the spot of Bond on that power play chance for a moment. And now Colgate will dump in from the red line, and we're back to 5-on-5 with a 1-1 game at 8:28 to go here in the second. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play, with neither team looking particularly stellar on its one-man-up chance. Not sure really what's going on here with the play tonight, as Colgate has been playing very well, and RPI coming off its first win, but tonight's game has been very sloppy. Gillespie in the offensive zone for RPI. Right point, Jared Wilson. Loses the handle for a moment. Now Riley Bourbonnais with a backhander down the wall, taken away by Panowik. And 8 minutes to go in the second in a 1-1 game. RPI fans hollering at Colgate that you're going the wrong way. And now Colgate moves out of the neutral zone. Law into the offensive zone, 1-on-4. Colgate changing on the fly, driving in towards the net. Harrison, but he couldn't get a shot off. Delayed penalty on RPI as one of the Raiders was taken out in the right wing corner, Kevin Law. And the fans aren't happy and boarding the call on Rensselaer with 7:39 to play in the second. And Colgate right back out of the power play as Karate sits down for the 2-minute minor. You can hear individual fans yelling at the referees. It's so quiet in here right now.
Time of 112 minutes, 21 seconds. Rensselaer Penning.
So Colgate another bite at the apple in a 1-1 hockey game. The only Raider goal by Kevin Law. The Raiders have Galakis, Lidgett, Tyson Spink, Tyler Spink, and Kyle Bond. Tyson Spink, top of the left circle, left corner for Kyle Bond. Bond. Behind the net for Lidgett, right dot, wrist shot by Tyson Spink. Kastorf save, rebound cleared away. One particular fan screaming his head off at the officials. But that's not really going to change much here. 1-1 the score, 1:40 to play on this power play. Colgate will carry in with speed. High slot, Tyler shooting in transition, and another save for Jason Kastorf. And now the Raiders starting to look much better here, kind of shaking some of the dust off and playing a little bit better offensively. Now with 7:12 to go in the second in a 1-1 game. Raiders hockey tonight are brought to you by McDonald's. For a limited time at McDonald's, Happy Meals are only $2.99, so be sure to bring in the family and enjoy some time together, creating smiles and memories. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Second power play group out, centered by Mike Panowik. It's Panowik, Murphy, Joe Wilson, Kulovich, and Johnston, the 5 on the ice for the team in the Road Maroons, with Colgate across the front in white block lettering, white number on the front and back, and white trim on the jersey. Jake Kulovich will quarterback the play. Seeing some power play time this year. Did not see any last year, and Murphy will carry into the offensive zone with speed. Deep into the left wing corner now, Mike Panowik canceled out, and a shoulder check by Craig Bokenfour. Loose puck left corner, rolled around the boards by Murphy, and picking it up and clearing it, but into the seats for RPI is Mark McGowan with the 6:41 left in the second to go on the power play. Don Vaughn walking up and down the bench as his team changes up personnel. Cornwall line right back out after a brief about 25-second shift for that second group. One thing with a little special teams play going on in this game is that it's given both teams a chance to roll all 4 lines. RPI face-off win. Bokenfour rockets the puck around the boards from the right corner, but not out. Galakis holds the zone. Left wing half wall, Tyler Spink. Back to Galakis, left point, fakes the drive. Now right dot, Tyson Spink. Goal line right, John Lidgett. Diagonal pass to Galakis, nearly got around him as he was cutting towards the middle of the ice. Colgate holds Galakis, stick handling at a phone booth, 1-on-2. Pass out front on a redirect. The shot missed the net wide left on the deflection from Kyle Baum. 30 seconds left on the Raider power play. Tyson Spink behind the net picks up the loose puck. High slot, Galakis shooting, and it's blocked in the baseball, supplied by Neal. Colgate holds Tyler Spink. Goal line right for John Lidgett. Up top for Tyson. Now Galakis straight away. 19 on the power play. Tyson Spink, top the right circle. Slap shot blocked. Loose in the slot. And it's fluttered out the other way. Good job by Matt Neal and the fans with an appreciative round of applause. And Colgate may get one last rush, but the Raiders will change up forwards here and go to 0 for 2 on the night on the power play. Tyson Spink at the tail end of a long shift will flip the puck in. Harrison can't dislodge it from an RPI defenseman that picked it up with 5.5 minutes to go in the second in a 1-1 game. Shots on goal picking up, now 10-6 for Colgate after what essentially amounted to 4 straight minutes of power play time. Leonard, high slot shooting, missed the net wide right, and Galakis rifles the puck off the near glass and out. Foot race to the other end. Murphy gets in front of Leonard, and Kastorf comes out of the dots to pitch the puck forward. RPI 2-on-3 to the offensive zone. Stop and go move by Schrader. He gets around Corky, who then glides him into the end boards behind the Raider net, and no chance for Rensselaer. Colgate on the attack. Panewick with eyes wide open into the offensive zone. Freeman, third offensive man in. Can't get to a one-time bid potentially. RPI looking for a counterattack, but Harrison back-checking like a demon. Breaks up the rush to the neutral zone and scales the puck back into the Colgate attacking end. Tell you what, Timmy Harrison's defense certainly the last couple of weeks has been very, very good, and I think you're seeing definitely the birth of a collegiate-level two-way player. Harrison's a very raw talent. Now an RPI player falls down in front of his own bench, and a whistle and a penalty. Prapavesis blew a tire. He went down. Peterson then fell over the top of him, and we've got a penalty here on Colgate. I'd love to get a replay of this because it simply looked like Prapavesis fell down under, just losing an edge. 4:30 left in the second. No argument from the Colgate bench. So Peterson will be called for slashing. As I'm guessing that when Prapavesis was down, Peterson maybe slashed him going for the loose puck, and it comes at 15:30. And Rensselaer with a chance here to try and break this 1-1 deadlock. First penalty for Evan Peterson since, I believe, November.
It's time for the East Stewart Jones power play.
And Colgate quickly a clear after a face-off loss. Bond nearly a breakaway, but picking his pocket in the neutral zone and saving a potential goal was Matt Neal, the senior. Played his junior hockey in Sweden. RPI offensive zone right. 15 gone to the power play. A 1-1 game, 4:13 to go in the second period. Rensselaer power play already 0 for 1 on the night. Matt Neal right point. Bank pass back to the line. Walking into the middle is Curtis Leonard, the senior defenseman. Leonard playing out a give and go 3 high umbrella formation for the cherry and white, and a whistle, and Leonard slightly backtracked over the stripe into the neutral zone, brought the puck with him, and the linesman Abanishin and Knapp right on top of it, and an offsides whistle with 3:57 left in the second. And the song after the unfortunate offsides is "This Is How We Do It," and that in fact I believe is not the case. That is not how you do it. So I think Montel Jordan in this situation would be vastly wrong. You don't pull the puck over the blue line on the power play. Back to live action, 4 minutes to play in the second. Colgate and RPI tied 1-1 here in Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Raiders looking to extend their winning streak to 5 and keep on moving up the pairwise rankings. Currently number 13 in the nation, and that would be an NCAA tournament spot. RPI gains zone entry, spreads the offense out with a screener in the slot. Right dot, Matt Neal, straight away Curtis Leonard. RPI power play looking for shooting lanes. McGowan the pop-out play, the man in the middle of the zone. Now Leonard up top with a drive and a left leg pad saved by Finn. Rebound along the near side, right Matt Neal. Looking to cycle down McGowan, manhandled by Law. Rolling puck right corner with 47 to go on the power play. It comes out of the high right. Neal gets it away from Gensler. Leonard holds it in high left, but RPI right now, no real snipers out there on the power play. And a steal by Gensler and a 2-on-1 for Gensler and Lidgett. Gensler in left side, shooting, and a save made by Kastorf. No rebound given. with 3 minutes to play here in the middle frame. A 1-1 hockey game. RPI really missing that one big sniper on the power play. Most recently, Ryan Haggerty, who had 20-plus goals as a junior before signing with the Rangers. Before that, it was the two-time ECAC Player of the Year for Minnesota, Chase Palachik. But RPI really could use one of those guys, or maybe another Nick Balin, another terrific offensive-minded defenseman. 29 remaining of the cherry and white power play here. We're in a 1-1 game with under 3 minutes to go in period number 2 from Troy. Next goal will be a big one. Nanny into the offensive zone. Turnover to Galakis. 2-on-2 shorthand rush. Joe Wilson and Darcy Murphy. Darcy Murphy down the right wing trying to play the puck to his teammate, and it was broken up. Murphy trying to set Joe Wilson up there for a chance at RPI to the offensive zone. Melanson down the left side, centers in front for Nanny, but Galakis closes him out, spins him like a top. No offensive shot on goal. Peterson out of the penalty box. We're back to 5-on-5, and each team 0 for 2 on the power play. Joe Wilson down low, pass up to the high right for Johnston, went through the slot, nobody home for either team. Darcy Murphy, right corner, lost a stick joust, 2:10 to play in the second. We're all square, 1-1 here in Troy at Houston Fieldhouse in ECAC League action. Each team with 5 league wins, though RPI with 4 more games played than Colgate so far this year. And Bond, the backhander from center red, off the turnbuckle, takes a Rensselaer bounce out of play with 1:55 left in the second. Colgate's won a couple of different 2-1 games here in recent memory. Of course, there was the double OT game. There was also an overtime game in which I believe it was Kevin McNamara that scored the overtime winner after a beautiful chip off the glass by Nathan Sins that led to a 2-on-1 OT rush. That was in the 10-11 season before the OT winner in the playoffs, and we'll get you that answer at the trivia. And as the teams line up for a center ice face-off, Bourbonnais and Tyson Spink trading the verbal barbs, and then Tyson just hauls off and shoves Bourbonnais. Cooler heads prevail, and the puck drops, and we're back underway with under 2 minutes left in the second in this 1-1 hockey game between Colgate and Rensselaer. Goals the last 2 meetings at a premium, just 4 combined. Quick shot coming out of the right corner, and a good hard one by Liljegren. And now DeVito and Johnston trade shoves in front of the net, and tensions and tempers rising here in Troy late in the second period. These two teams have not played yet this year. They'll meet again in a couple of weeks' time at Star Rink, not too far from now. And then, of course, RPI and Union again will be at Star Rink. 2 of the final games in the regular season next year at Star will be RPI and Union. Final regular season game next year at Star will be against the Union Dutchmen. League schedule making its way around online for next year, the predetermined block schedule. And that's what Colgate will play RPI and Union final weekend of the regular season next year at Star Rink. Minute 25 to go in the second here from Houston Fieldhouse, and Troy fans sitting on their hands. A 1-1 hockey game here late in the second. Lidgett and Bourbonnais, a pair of 14s duel for the puck in the left corner, and Colgate comes out with it. But Joe Wilson, a headman pass to Andrew Black, overshot him, and a whistle stops play for icing with 1:09 to go in the second. Shots on goal currently 11-8 for Colgate. In the second period, Colgate 8, Rensselaer 5. They're normally fairly stingy here in Troy, but tonight the shots have been at a premium, and both Charlie Finn and Jason Kastorf walking the tightrope here in Troy, because one little mistake could give a team the edge that it needs. Law plays the puck into the rafters off a right wall battle. It rolls into the slot in the Colgate zone. Black chips it free with 1 minute to play in the second, and it is right on a line in at Jason Kastorf. And now Joe Wilson and one of the RPI big defensemen get tied up at the end boards in the RPI zone. Wilson and Leonard in a collar and elbow tie-up. Ryan Knapp jumps in between them and separates his arms, separating them. If you're watching the live video on rpitv.org, and by the way, they are doing an absolutely fantastic job, as they always do. You had a really good shot of that. Some great camera work all over the building tonight with the live video on RPI TV. Want to give a shout out to those kids. Student-run production. Nobody's getting paid. They're doing a heck of a job. 1-1 our score, 52.5 seconds left. Face off the Colgate attacking end. Out of the high left, Kulovich races over, gets the puck down low. Murphy shooting on the doorstep. Save made by Kastorf, then Murphy bulldozes his way into the goal. Darcy, kind of a car ramrod, if you will, of the Raiders. Simply right there like a bull in a china shop, going towards the net after the great Colgate bounce. As what happened, the faceoff was won back to the left point. Kulovic got there, threw the puck into open space. Murphy got to it and then made a dash for the net. 43 seconds left in the second, 1-1. Draw one back to Kulovic at the left point this time, but his pass forces Galakis all the way back to the Raider end, right in front of our broadcast position here at the Raider defensive blue line. Crowd a little bit better here as we moved on, though still I'd say about half empty, give or take. And a puck down to the Colgate bench off a touch from Zach Schrader with 25 seconds left. Schrader, one of those three players last year, by the way, that took a 5-minute major in the game here at Houston Fieldhouse, the 6-2 RPI win. Strangest game between these two teams, 6-2 definitely. A few years before that, Colgate won in this building 8-3. Austin Smith had a Texas hat trick the year that he made his bad dash for the Hobie Baker Award that was ultimately won by Jack Conley. And we're down to 23 seconds and counting after a neutral zone draw. The Colgate sweeps back to its own zone. RPI putting on some light pressure. Colgate breaks it with a Cornwall line. And Tyson Spink, a high fluttering disc to the offensive zone. Bond tracks it down. He's battled against the boards by Curtis Leonard. Bond out of the right corner, 5 seconds left, spins to his forehand side, hash marks. Now trying to drive the net. Leonard not letting him get the step and go to goal. And that is how the second period ends, just as did the first period, with the score tied 1-1. The longer this game remains tied, the more confidence that RPI will have, because the next goal at this point could be the difference in what right now is a 1-1 hockey game through 40 minutes of gameplay. Shots on goal through two, 12-8 for the Gate, and we are through two complete here in Hamilton. And at the end of two periods, it is Colgate 1, Rensselaer 1. Back after 3 minutes, and you are listening to Colgate Raiders hockey right here on 94 KXZ. How about 8?
College Suites and City Station is now open for all Capital District students. Everyone from Rensselaer, Sage.
You're locked into Colgate Raiders hockey right here on 94 KXZ and online at WKXZFM.com. Where through 2 periods of play tonight in the Capital District at Houston Fieldhouse, former home of the American Hockey League's Capital District Islanders. Colgate and RPI tied 1-1. This is the type of game that Rensselaer wants to play, low scoring, because RPI, remember, coming into the game averaging about 1.7 goals per game. So it's only maybe going to take 2 to win this one, and right now Colgate needs another goal. 1-1 the score, the only strikes in this game, both in the first period. 2 away to the first, Mark McGowan redirecting a blue line shot by Luke Karate, and then 14:58 of the first, Colgate after a face-off win, Kevin Law with a Raider rocket from the blue line, making it 1-1, and that's where we stand here at the second intermission in Troy, New York. Numbers through 2 periods of play, let's get you those right now. Shots on goal, a little bit higher now that things have opened up slightly, and I think we're going to see a little bit more wide open hockey in the third period as both teams try to sell out and break this 1-1 stalemate. Shots on goal through 2, Colgate 12, Rensselaer 8. By period, Colgate with 3 in the first, 9 in the second, for a 2-period total of 12. For Rensselaer, 3 in the first and 5 in the second, for a 2-period total of 8. Mind you, in a game earlier this season against Robert Morris, Colgate had more than 20 shots in a single period. But right now, 12-8 the shots on goal. Power play numbers, each team 0 for 2. RPI with 1 power play each in the first and second, and through 2 power plays, all of 1 power play shot. For Colgate, the Raiders had back-to-back power plays in the second as Karate and DeVito went off in succession, not in that order, but you get the idea. And in those power plays, Colgate had 2 power play shots. Goalie numbers through 2, Jason Kastorf, 11 saves on 12 shots. He had 9 saves in the second, played very well. Meanwhile, at the other end, Charlie Finn, 7 saves on 8 shots. You can't fault Finn for the goal that was allowed either. It was a screenshot. He didn't see it until late. And Rensselaer with its lone goal there, coming all the way back in the first period. So 1-1 through 1 period. Again, the goals, Mark McGowan and Kevin Law. Face-off numbers through 2, 21-13 for Colgate. And remember, RPI was out dueling Colgate in the circle after 1, but that number drastically changes in the second, or changed, I should say, to be grammatically correct. Face-offs by player, Tyler Spink 8 for 11, Mike Panowik 6 for 9, John Lidgett 5 for 10, Evan Peterson 2 for 3, and Joe Wilson 0 for 1. For the Engineers, Milos Bubala 4 for 9, Riley Bourbonnais 2 for 2, Matt Neal 2 for 4, Jimmy DeVito 2 for 6, Zach Schrader 2 for 9, Jacob La Liberté 1 for 3, and Victor Liljegren 0 for 1. Blocks 11-6 Rensselaer, and one other number to get you here at the first intermission. Shots attempted, Colgate 30, Rensselaer 20. Of Colgate's 30 shots, just 12 have been on goal, but at least 30 shots attempted through 2. Semi-respectable, but the Raiders really need to get the offense going if they want to come out of Troy here at the win tonight. What would be a very difficult loss moving on forward, as the Raiders want to stockpile wins, trying to get to the top of the league table, and Quinnipiac and Harvard kind of had the market cornered right now, so the more wins that Colgate can get, the better. Colgate will be at Union tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that coming up as we go along here at the intermission. Also, we've got our trivia answer and 3 trivia winners tonight. First time we've had that all year, and the MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard as well. Through 2 here in Troy, it's Colgate 1, RPI 1. Back after 3 minutes, and you are listening to Colgate Raiders Hockey right here on 94 KXZ. All right, I'll be right back. I got to grab water. Oakley dokley. Okay. Hello again, friends, and welcome back here to Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Not too far from the state capital of Albany on Route 7 here in the Capital District, just on top of the hill in Troy, and at the Houston Fieldhouse there too. It's Colgate 1, Rensselaer 1. Both goals scored back in the first period. Mark McGowan of Rensselaer and Kevin Law of Colgate, and that literally has been all tonight. Let's go to the MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard here for this Friday, January 16th, 2015. And we will start, of course, in ECAC hockey here on this Friday night. As team, everybody really getting it turned up. Of course, though, Princeton right now, its annual break at the start of the second half of the season for finals, because, of course, finals at Princeton always take place after Christmas. So just something else for Brad Dexter and Ron Fogarty to deal with over at the Garden State. Here's what we have right now in the league, and things have turned dramatically in Cambridge tonight, where the Cantabs of Harvard have opened up a 4-2 lead on Clarkson. Remember, the Knights staked themselves out to a 1-0 edge, or a 2-1 edge, excuse me, but Harvard right now all over Clarkson 4-1. End of the second at Bright Landry. The team that Colgate will play 1 week from tonight, Dartmouth, the Big Green at home against St. Lawrence, and it's the Skating Saints up 3-1 on the Big Green. End of the second at Thompson Arena. Cornell leading Union late second over in the Electric City of Schenectady, 1-0. And then midway through the second in Providence, no score, Yale and Brown. Now to the out-of-town scoreboard, the out-of-ECAC scoreboard. We'll start it in Atlantic hockey. All games late second or end of the second. Mercyhurst 1, Holy Cross 0. Robert Morris 3-0 over AIC. RIT 3, Sacred Heart 0. Canisius and Bentley scoreless. And starting at about 35 or so minutes, Army at Air Force. In the Big Ten, Michigan, another offensive dynamo performance. The Wolverines with a touchdown and an extra point, 7-3 leaders at Ohio State. Michigan State leads Penn State 2-1. Over in Hockey East, BC 2, BU zip. Midway through the second at Agganis, and according to Twitter, BU essentially looking lifeless right now against their COMAV counterparts. UMass Lowell 2, Maine 0 up in Orono. UMass 3, UNH 2, end of the second at Amherst. Northeastern 2-1 leaders at Vermont, and that's a game that Colgate would love to see Northeastern win. As the more Colgate opponents play well, the better Colgate's wins over them will look on a national level. And then over in South Bend, it's at the end of the first. UConn and Notre Dame tied 1-1. In the NCHC, no score, just underway. Minnesota Duluth hosting Western Michigan at AmSoil Arena. And then later starts in about an hour, Omaha at CC and St. Cloud at Denver. In the WCHA, games all late second just about. Minnesota State 2-0 over Ferris State. Bowling Green 2, Michigan Tech 1. Lake State and Bemidji State scoreless. And then midway through the first out of the Von Braun Center, Huntsville and Northern Michigan, no score. One late start in the WCHA, Anchorage at Fairbanks. Again, that's an 11 o'clock game. And then at the end of the second, Merrimack 4, Quinnipiac 2. And then underway shortly, Niagara is at North Dakota. And that's a check of your NBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday night at the second intermission. Let's move now to our trivia answers. The teams get ready to retake the ice here for period number 3. The question was, who scored the game-winning goal in the double overtime thriller here back in 2010-11? And the correct answer was Colgate's Robbie Bourdon. I'm looking right now at the exact spot in which Bourdon scored it. Kind of a bad angle shot that Robbie simply just threw on net that somehow found its way past Alan York to break the hearts of everybody here at RPI. But the Engineers would end up going on to the NCAA tournament not too long after that in a first-round game against North Dakota. So congratulations to our 3 trivia winners tonight, all guessing Robbie Bourdon with the correct answer. Our trivia winners, Rob Masters, Richard Derrick, and Kyle Ramey, all with the correct answer tonight. The double OT game winner here at Houston Fieldhouse. Well, the way things are going here, this one may very well make it out of that extra period as we're 1-1 through 2. Scoring update from the Electric City, Cornell 2, Union nothing. Cornell's going to be here tomorrow night for what they're calling a whiteout here at Rensselaer, completely different from Black Friday, which is early in the year, and also the Big Red Freakout as well, in which Colgate hammered RPI several years back by that 8-3 game in which Austin Smith had a Texas hat trick. Colgate coaches slowly walking from the Zamboni corner up the boards to the Colgate bench opposite our broadcast position. Staggered door entry into the Raider defensive zone for the third. Seats filling back up the alternating red and blue old school style seating sections around the playing surface. Luxury boxes in the end to my right where the entrance is also. Fans back into the arena, and here we go, period 3 underway. 1-1 the score. Next goal likely will win it for either Rensselaer or Colgate. If you're a Raider supporter, you're hoping that the team in the Maroons will be the one that scores the goal. Colgate will slowly start out the period. Holding behind the net is Jake Kulovich, and Colgate will skate from left to right in period 3. Joe Wilson on a neutral zone deflection off the leg of Chris Bradley, the RPI upper class defenseman. And now the Engineers will control the puck in what's been kind of a game of chess at times, with each team looking to slow the play down. 1-1 our score through 2 periods of play, and you wonder what the message in the locker rooms from Don Vaughn and Seth Appert was in a Raider giveaway. Finn had gone out of the net to play the puck. RPI nearly got a bang-bang one-timer with Finn racing back to the goal, but the Raiders break up the chance. Quick zone re-entry by RPI. Bubella left side, screenshot save made, rebound, score! Matt Neal roofs the rebound past Charlie Finn, and 56 seconds into the third, RPI punches Colgate right in the face to take a 2-1 lead. Nobody in front on Matt Neal, a blown defensive assignment for the Raiders. And the RPI fans finally with something to cheer about for the first time in some time. Terrific goal by Neal, who lifted it right up over Finn, wrapped it off the underside of the crossbar into the back of the net. The RPI fans standing and pointing at Charlie Finn. Lots of hockey left, but 2-1 Rensselaer leads, and Colgate is going to need at least one more tonight. And RPI will look for a dump it off the draw, but it ends up out of play over the near side left glass with 1:10 gone by, and a youngster running around the seating bowl, the concourse with an RPI flag. Looks like he's about gassed as he gets off to the Zamboni corner. And now the crowd, after that brief outburst, is back to, well, Country Club Sunday here with RPI leading Colgate 2-1. Raiders haven't allowed more than 2 goals in a game in a while. Last time that happened was, of course, against Providence, 4-3 loss. RPI, mind you, has only scored more than 2 goals in a game 4 times this year. And Colgate really needs to keep RPI off the scoreboard now. The Raiders in their own zone, moving now from left to right. Harrison into the offensive zone, stop and go move. Pass into the slot for Murphy. He carries in right corner and takes a shoulder check and loses the puck. And RPI now playing to the spring at its stride, looking very good, but Kevin Long breaks up the rush of the neutral zone. Panowick to the offensive end, stop and go move, loses the puck. Now he picks it up and curls it to the right corner for Murphy. Behind the net for Harrison, lumbering to the forehand, pass into the slot. Law charge again, but he can't pull the trigger in a shot. Panowick, left wing corner for Murphy, getting held, no call, pass back to the line for Corky. High right for Law, screen shot, missed the net, bouncing puck over to the left wing half wall. That angle shot, pinballs up into the air, now kipped into the right corner by Kevin Law, rushing right past Jared Wilson, who then slashes him, no call, play continues. Brett Corky high left. He'll pitch the puck to the end boards of the RPI zone. Harrison in a board battle. He wipes out. An RPI player falls over him as well. And the Engineers win the puck. Fans wanting a penalty on Harrison, who simply lost an edge. Ryan Johnston, quick zone re-entry, but Harrison and Murphy not fast enough to get out of the zone. And offsides on Colgate with 2:18 gone by in the third. Really, the thing I think for Colgate tonight, watching this game, is the Raiders have just simply, at times, been really sloppy. What's been crisp passes, crisp zone entries, holding on to pucks, that's happened over the last 4 games. It's simply not been there tonight. And at times that an RPI pass looking for a deflection to the offensive end ends up at the Colgate bench, and Don Vaughn and Mike Carter diving out of the way. Coach Vaughn right now kind of watching, hands in his pockets silently. Mike Carter, a brand new haircut, arms crossed at his chest. We're 2-1 RPI. Go ahead goal for the Engineers 56 seconds into the third as Colgate, very lackadaisical in the defensive zone coverage early in the frame, allowed Neal to punch home a loose puck over the shoulder of Charlie Finn. Now a neutral zone giveaway by Laws. Bearing down on him was Jake Wood of the Engineers. RPI, the aggressor, playing very well. Colgate hesitant right now, making bad mistakes. Freeman, a backhander to the offensive zone, gets around Bladley, but it's gobbled up by the golfer Craig Bokenfour. Coming up on 3 minutes gone by here in the third. RPI leading 2-1. And Gensler with a hip check in the neutral zone. Got away maybe with a penalty. Bourbonnais to the offensive end. Looping pass off an RPI glove. Nearly went into the net. Finn does go into the net. Knocked over. Pushing and shoving. And now Galakis gets cross-checked right in front of the net. And immediately turns to the referee and throws his hands up. As Kenny Gillespie, the big bruising 220-pounder, will be led away from Galakis after they traded shoves. Gillespie had only played a handful of games early in the season, but injuries have forced him into the lineup. Face-off coming to the near side left. It remains in the RPI attacking end with 3:02 gone by in the third, and RPI up 2-1. RPI goals McGowan and Law, and the Raiders, well, their curse against RPI, I guess, recently continues. And we're going to have a goal review here as Charlie Finn ended up back of the net, and we're looking to see where the puck maybe have been. It looks like it may be over the line, but the question is when the whistle blew. Actually, no, there it is, way out of the paint. So this one's not going to be a goal, and then we get a nice view of Galakis cross-checking Gillespie in the chops before Gillespie responds back. And the officials will look at this, but this will be no goal as the puck went off Gillespie's hand anyways, so it won't count, I wouldn't think, with RPI leading 2-1. That said, stranger things have happened. And with this goal review, let's remind you Raiders Hockey is brought to you by many great sponsors, one of which tonight is Sodexo. After every home game, bring your ticket stub to Colgate's Donovan's Pub on the campus for nightly specials. Raiders Hockey also brought to you by MBT Bank. MBT Bank proudly sponsors the Colgate Raiders. And as your community bank, MBT Bank offers personal banking, asset management, business services, and iStrive youth and young adult banking services. And you can visit MBT Bank online at mbtbank.com for more information. Member FDIC. Goal review is over, and as you can tell, no roar in the background, so it remains 2-1, no goal. 3:02 gone by in the third, 2-1 Engineers on a go-ahead goal by Matt Neal. Now a point shot from Karate, swept aside by Finn. The Raiders need to try and find some offense here. Giveaway behind the net. Chance out front, never gets to Bubella on a centering feed. Neal on a backhand, plays the puck to himself off the back of the net. Pass out front, one-timer save made. Rebound, score. 3-1 RPI. La Liberté, the tallest player on the ice, outduels two Colgate defensemen and rips in a rebound. And it's 3-1 RPI, and the Raiders looking shell-shocked here. Terrific job by Neal, wheeling away. Plays the puck to himself off the net, then La Liberté. Fans on the first one-time attempt. One player standing and watching him. Another player stood and watched him. And Galakis and Kulovic there simply need to be better. Somebody's got to knock La Liberté there at his butt. Just not very good defense right there by Colgate. And RPI's up 3-1. Only the fifth time this season that RPI's got more than 2 goals. Engineers want more, and a blue line shot is stopped by Finn. 16:26 to play. Get some smelling salts over on the Colgate bench. This team needs to wake up in a hurry. 16:26 to play here in the third. Colgate players hanging heads slightly. RPI players right now standing, moving around to the bench, getting a change here. 3:34 gone by in the third. This one not over, but Colgate needs to try and get some sort of offensive momentum going of what's been a horrifically ugly game at times. Colgate from left to right. Bond leads the charge. Now Kevin Law, give and go for Bond. Bond backdoor looking for Law, misses him, and then Law shoved into the goal, knocking it off its moorings. Matt Neal himself beating the Raiders in the third with a goal and an assist. Again, 2 defenders, Kulovic and Galakis, simply stood and watched La Liberté there take 2 whacks at the shot. The second one, as we mentioned, went in. Face off far side left, offensive zone right, 3-1 RPI, 16:15 to play in the third. The Engineers punching Colgate in the mouth coming out of the gate with a goal in the first minute. And then Matt Neal to Jacob LaLiberte a moment ago in a 2-on-2 Rensselaer rush. Littlejohn into the offensive zone getting around Corky, but Brent forces him into the end boards. 4-player pile up behind Finn. Kevin Law digs the puck free. Bond through the neutral zone simply turns the puck over to McGowan, but delayed offside. He has to pull off the pressure. As again, Colgate at times tonight just sloppy. The Raiders now get the thing going from left to right. Corky turns the puck over across the line. RPI hammers it down the ice, and ice gets waved off as the puck went in front of the Colgate bench during a change. It could have very well been touched by a couple of different skaters. Don Vaughn just kind of running his hand through his hair. Another Colgate neutral zone turnover, this time Ryan Johnston. RPI firing all over the ice right now. Active sticks. Colgate and a Raider knocked down left wing corner, kind of tripped from behind. Bourbonnais got away with the trip there, and Colgate finally controls and clears. 4.5 minutes gone by in the third. Rensselaer with 2 quick strikes, leading 3-1. Looking for its second straight win after a 9-game losing streak. Colgate now will stand around and hold, and Mike Panowick comes in to start the play up. 3-1 the score. Colgate the first time since the Providence 4-3 loss. The Raiders have allowed more than 3. It's not been on Charlie Finn tonight. Giveaway by Colgate. Out the other way comes Bubella against Corcoran. Corcoran a good stick play to knock the puck away, and then Bubella forces him into the right corner of the Colgate zone, puts a shoulder in. The Raiders, though, take the puck away and clear the zone. Third period scoring for Colgate, aside from the Robert Morris game in the second half, limited to an empty netter now. A Raider giveaway behind the net, and Bubella with a quick one-time shot save made by Finn. Too many giveaways from Colgate here in the third period, but lots of time left in the way this offense works. And as poorly as RPI's defense has been this year, the Raiders certainly not out of it, but right now they need the puck and they need chances, and RPI is going to play the possession game here for Seth Appert. Corky at his own line turns the puck over to Bubella, takes a couple of whacks and gets it right back. Now falling down to the neutral zone is Gensler trying to gain the zone, and the Engineers another takeaway. Again, this one has been shoe leather ugly at times tonight. Now Gensler through neutral ice leading the Colgate rush. Gensler with a wrist shot buried right into the shin pad of Curtis Leonard, and a quick stick and a clear for Zach Schrader. RPI at this point with 3 goals can go back into the defensive shell, leading here at home with 13:46 to play in the third. Kevin Law jumping up into the offense. Oh boy, he runs over Curtis Leonard, and he's called for a penalty. Leonard went to check him. Law ran him over. Delayed penalty on Colgate. RPI, odd man rush to the offensive zone, and skating into the net and knocking it off is Gensler. Fans livid, screaming for blood right now, saying Gensler dislodged the net on purpose. Gensler was skating to the front of the net. He lost an edge and went into it, and boarding is called on Kevin Law with an absolutely horrible call right there. Leonard was going to check Law, kind of stopped up, went to get ready to throw the shoulder, and Law ran him right over. That was an absolutely terrible call. Leonard did go awkwardly slightly into the boards, but that was shoulder to shoulder. And you have got to be kidding me. After decent officiating last weekend, aside from a couple of mind-boggling head scratchers, the officiating tonight has been great, but that was just a blown call right there. A big collision. Leonard stopped moving and let Law hit him. That is terrible. RPI power play. Thankfully, no delay of game on Gensler for what was an accident, as he knocked the goal off the moorings, not intentionally by skating into it. So Law goes for boarding, and RPI with a 3-1 lead goes on the power play here, and ramping the puck around the end boards and out is Galakis. Colgate with a few shorthanded goals this year. They'll put the pressure on RPI. Lidgett with a one-man in forecheck. Now Bond picks up the forecheck, and Colgate will send Lidgett to the bench here. RPI 0 for 2 on the power play. The teams have combined for 0 for 4 with only a handful of power play shots. Neal wins a foot race to the right corner. Now LaLiberte left corner. Out top for Leonard. Top the left circle for Schrader. Telegraphed to pass. It was blocked away by Galakis. 1:21 on the power play left. And Leonard can't keep the puck inside the stripe. Now a turnover, and Galakis runs right through Leonard. He goes down easily again. Galakis 1-on-4 behind the RPI net. Got separation, passed the puck off the goal, looking to center it. And Gillespie and Galakis dance, and finally RPI's got the puck away. Galakis calling for a change as he goes to the bench, and RPI comes in 3-on-3, and a one-touch on goal by Schrader. And a save made by Finn with 12:23 to go here in the third. And Harrison knocks an RPI stick away that had fallen on the ice. 55 seconds left on the RPI power play. And tonight's game brought to you by Ridsey's Market, your friendly neighborhood grocery store located in the heart of Earlville, open 7 days a week, including every holiday. Back to live action, RPI power play offensive zone left in a 3-1 lead for the Homesiders. Colgate tonight at times does not look very good, but the Raiders can forget that all the way with a solid finish to the third period. Prapavesa straight away, he's the quarterback now top of the right circle for Melanson. High left for Bradley, fans imploring the Engineers to shoot the puck. Melanson wants the one-timer instead, backdoor to Bradley. Ping pong down low and Noddy hit the right post. He had Finn beat on a great play, then Colgate got caught chasing. Now up top, Melanson to the screen shot, redirected to the left wing corner. 22 left on the Rensselaer power play. Prapavesa straight away, screen shot knocked down by an RPI player in front of it. He rifles it into the left wing corner. And that Raider taken down left boards, Murphy, no penalty. Now at the line, Bradley, a screen shot with a player cutting right in front of Finn, and a save made by Finn. RPI controls the rebound, sustained pressure right here as the power play ends and Law joins the play in the RPI attacking end. Pop-out play shot by Bubella, blocked on its way to the goal. 11:21 to play in the third, 3-1 RPI. Well, the Engineers 0 for 3 on the power play, but a goal by Neal and a goal by La Liberté. The difference right now, shots on goal, 19-12 Rensselaer. All of a sudden, the shot makers are generous, but RPI putting on the pressure. Kulovich at his own end, wheeling away from the RPI forecheck of Riley Bourbonnais. Colgate needs someone to step up and make a play here as the only goal tonight by a defenseman, Kevin Long. Bond, nifty little touch to the offensive zone for Tyler Spink. He's hauled down by one arm. Delayed penalty. Colgate numbers down low. Quick shot on goal. Save made by Castor. And then Bond went to take another whack at it, but knocking the puck down and touching up for the Engineers was Liljegren. Kind of a so-so call right there. That might have been a makeup call as Jared Wilson got his arm out and hauled down the Colgate player coming down the wall. And they have fans again getting that vacuum chant out, and oh no, that's a penalty as we get a good look at the replay. Jared Wilson and Tyler Spink were both going for the puck, and Jared Wilson just threw his left arm out and grabbed a hold of Tyler Spink so he couldn't get to the puck and took him down almost with a side suplex. Colgate power play, third of the night, 10:41 to play in the third. The one fan that's been hollering at the officials all night, he may lose his voice, he's still screaming. Guessing he's a charter member of the ECAC Hockey Officials Fan Club. And Colgate will go back to its own zone to start the power play with the top unit out, the Cornwall group, with the Spink twins, Kyle Bond, John Lidgett, and Spiro Galakis. Colgate will dump and chase this time on the power play. Let's see if the adjustments have been made. 6-player pile up left wing corner. Puck chipped off the goal line boards in the corner. Stick joust ensues. Finally the puck free back to the line for Lidgett. High right for Galakis. He and Lidgett running the blue line. Galakis screen shot and a save made by Kastorf. And the rebound hits the mesh. And the clock stops with 10:06 to go in the third. And a delayed reaction by everybody as the players could have stopped the clock. Ticked off one more second. The officials realized, hey, the puck went out of play. 10:06 left in the third. RPI 3, Colgate 1. Time not a factor yet, given how fast that Colgate can score in the momentum of college hockey. A 2-goal lead is very hard to control. That said, the Raiders need to put on some positive momentum, have puck possession, and simply generate chances, because right now Colgate has all of 2 shots on goal in this period and 14 for the game in what has been a real ugly game both ways. But the only thing that matters is the score, and that's 3-1 for the Engineers. Colgate's second power play group out will chip and chase. Kulovich, right corner, wins a stick joust. Joe Wilson, right corner, right dot for Murphy. Pass back to the line for Johnston straight away. Left side, Darcy skating to the left boards. Now it's Joe Wilson. Left corner, helped out by Mike Panawick, who spins the forehand left half wall. Panawick for Johnston, back to Panawick. Telegraphed to pass, goal line left, it's stolen away, but Colgate gets it right back with Murphy. 45 to go on the power play. Murphy high left, Johnston midpoint. Now Johnston screen shot and redirect by Panawick, saved by Kastorf. This is where Kastorf will shine here with a lead. And now Colgate with a giveaway and a breakaway for RPI. Schrader coming into the slap blast and a save made by Finn. Colgate trying to catch RPI in the fly the other way. Quick change up on the fly for Colgate. Cornwall unit out. Murphy still on the ice for Colgate. Left corner for Tyler Spink. Spinning away from Leonard. Loses the puck down. Tyson left dot. He telegraphed a pass to Murphy and it's stolen away and cleared. 10 seconds remaining on the penalty to Jared Wilson of RPI. 3-1 Rensselaer, 8:45 to play in the third, and a whistle and offsides on the Spink Twins as they get in just ahead of the puck with 8:42 left in the second. Raiders hockey tonight brought to you by the Poolville Country Store. Experience tonight you'll always remember at the Poolville Country Store, restaurant and bed and breakfast. Call 315-691-2677 for dinner reservations or to book a room. 2 seconds left on the Raider power play, so Colgate, much like Rensselaer, is going to go 0 for 3 on the man advantage. And out of the box comes Jared Wilson to the sin bin right next to the bench. He'll step over to the bench, and we're back underway. They're at the 5-on-5. Again, time not a factor yet, but it will be unless Colgate can stick one in here. As RPI looks for 6 in a row, unbeaten against Colgate. Who'd have thunk it, how bad the Engineers were not too long ago. Joe Wilson at center red. He'll blast the puck in. Patted aside by Jason Castor. 8-12 and counting in the second. Colgate putting on the forecheck pressure. Ryan Johnston knocks down an RPI clear attempt right point. Bourbonnais and Liljegren take a couple of whacks at Johnston, knock the puck free, and Liljegren and Black go to the other end, but Black, a very good skater, wins the foot race. Colgate needs a line other than the Cornwall line maybe to get a good possession shift here. Murphy's shown some signs tonight as well, but this is one of those nights when maybe the Cornwall line's not kicking that someone's got to step up and score a goal. Kevin Law has. Now the Raiders need someone else to do the same. Red shot in by Colgate, 7:37 to play in the third, trailing 3-1. Matt Neal and Jacob LaLiberte, the goals for Rensselaer, attempting to knock Colgate from its third place tie right now. Chance down low for RPI off a quick dump. Schrader wide open on the doorstep, couldn't find a pass to one-time bid, back post wide open. Jam up just inside the Rensselaer attacking blue line. Puck comes free to Karate in the neutral zone, and he will float it in on Finn, who went up to play it, nearly fell over backwards, knocking it away from his clavicle. Long toss ahead for Gensler. He's manhandled by Bokenfour as they go into the left corner of the RPI defensive zone. Bokenfour ragdolls Gensler and hauls him down by one arm. Play continues. No call from the officials, and Rensselaer on the attack, 3-on-3. Well, the coaches, I think, both ways don't want a lot of penalties called. That said, when there's stuff that egregiously happens, you'd like it to be called. As Kulovich comes over center crest with a red line shot right at the chest of that shield on the RPI jersey. Kastorf stops it and holds. He hasn't had to be really great tonight, and he hasn't made any saves that make you want to hold your hat, but, you know, Colgate offensively has not put enough pressure on him. The Raiders did have 9 shots in the third, though nothing that would make you get to the edge of your seat and rise up and maybe start cheering. Face off far side left, offensive zone right. The Raiders win the draw. Kulovich right point, screen shot. Murphy knocked down into Kastorf, and a whistle quickly stops play, and RPI players not happy with Darcy Murphy as he is dragged up off the ice. Fans screaming at the officials for a penalty. You'd think we were up in Canton the way the crowd is reacting to the men in the striped shirts. Face off far side left, offensive zone right. 6:32 to play in the third. RPI 3, Colgate 1. Again, the Raiders in the third period in this second half of the season. 2 goals against Robert Morris, and then the empty netter against St. Lawrence last week. Other than that, the third period offensively has been very slow. Mind you, in the first half of the season, Colgate had over 20 third period goals, and right now the Raiders will need to call upon that strength here with down to 6:25 left as Kenny Gillespie moves into the attack again for Rensselaer. Kulovich rims the puck away from him, and Colgate will take control. The Raiders again need to possess the puck here and stay with possession. There's just been too many turnovers in this game tonight. A couple of blown defensive zone assignments also have led to Rensselaer goals here in the second period. To remind you, the third, excuse me. Colgate now from left to right. An RPI player loses a stick as Colgate gets zone entry, and a shot from long distance by Panawick stopped and held by Kastorf. And with the Raiders at the end of a shift, that was probably the best idea. With Panawick, Harrison, and Murphy going to the bench looking tired. So rather than trying to start a cycle here and force the play, Colgate simply gets a shot on net, forces a face-off. We'll get the Cornwall line out of the ice. It is very silent in here. Shots on goal, 20-16. Colgate wins the draw. Johnston shooting off the face-off, blocked by McGowan, who got right up on him, simply crashing back to the blue line. Colgate too vanilla attacking-wise tonight. The Raiders have not been creative as they have over the course of the last few weeks. Cornwall line is out. RPI has given them almost no space aside from a couple of good shifts tonight. And now a red line zip in by Tyson Spink caught. Kastorf held on for a second thinking, then he lays it down to the ice. 5.5 minutes to play in the third. Again, shots on goal 20-16 for RPI. Colgate had 12 shots through 2 periods, just 4 here in the third. Galakis down for Bond. Tyler Spink to the offensive zone. Toe drag into a shot. It's blocked. Another shot forced into the right wing corner. Bond behind the net on the backhand, looking to try and get to the net front. Now Tyson Spink manhandled and knocked down by big Luke Karate, simply getting physical, and Tyson doesn't like it. He cross-checks him as out the other way comes RPI. Bubala backhand to forehand, spun around the net. Goal knocked off the moorings by Finn, going butterfly. And the fans again screaming their heads off at the officials for what is a perceived knock intentionally of the goal off the moorings. Everyone needs to kind of take a deep breath here. Johnston with a good defensive play to tie up Bubala and not let him to get a shot off. Finn was going down to the butterfly, simply knocked the net off its moorings. Not intentional, just simply going down to make the save. Same Colgate team on the road tomorrow at Union. Game time 7 o'clock, 6:45 pregame. This one here down to 4:56 remaining, and Colgate needs to find an answer here, and we've got 5 Raiders around the referee in the Colgate goal, and it looks like we've got a problem with one of the goal pegs, so the rink workers will come out and check on that as all 5 players talk to the referee there, and the fans now chant the equipment manager or the rink manager's name as he comes out with a power drill to drill down that hole and fix it up. Make sure those pegs are in there good. Tonight's game is brought to you in part from the Colgate Inn. Meet me at the Inn. Fresh new menus and a great beverage selection. The perfect place for your post-game celebration. In the heart of the village, great food, great friends, great memories. Meet me at the Inn. Goal pegs have been fixed. Fans with a hearty cheer. Again, that was not intentional, and Finn accidentally knocking the goal off. Simply went to make a save. Bubala never got the shot off. Back to live action, under 5 minutes to play. Time now a factor. Colgate needs to get it going and move forward here. Joe Wilson trying to go to the offensive zone. Knocked away from him. The puck is by Karate, who will send it down the rink. RPI's defensemen have played very, very well tonight, stymieing Colgate's attack, though the Raiders, for their money, simply have not played very well on the attack tonight either. Darcy Murphy in his own zone. Wins the puck, lays it out ahead, but out of the reach of Mike Panawick. And RPI simply will knock the puck down the ice, and Colgate will change up personnel. Again, at this point, RPI going into the defensive shell, looking for maybe counterattacks when they've got them. And now Colgate looking for a deflection dump in, misses its target, and icing on Colgate, and Don Vaughn locked in thought over on the Raider bench. I'd say this game reminded me of the Quinnipiac game earlier this year when Colgate simply, just for whatever reason, did not play a good game. And maybe at RPI been a little bit better team. This one could have ended up like that one. It's Colgate, not one of its better efforts tonight. 4:11 to go in the third. Curtis Leonard back to the red line after RPI skated the puck clear of the zone. He'll hammer the puck and Finn, and now Galakis will carry up ice, moving away from Bourbonnais. Panawick over the red line. Now Harrison right side. Harrison shooting high, missed the net. Good rising wrist shot there, and the puck is backhanded out of the zone by Bourbonnais. No icing, so Finn will come over to play at the goal line left with under 4 minutes to go here in this one. 3-1 Rensselaer. Colgate needs to get forward. RPI sets up the 2-1-2 neutral zone trap. Colgate comes in, but delayed offside. No delayed offside. What probably could have been called there, but RPI wins a foot race to the end boards and easily clears the zone. And this one will be icing with 3:29 left to play in the third. Last year, Colgate led RPI throughout at Hamilton 1-0. RPI with a goal in the final minute forced the one, early won the game afterwards before overtime. Right now, Colgate's going to need a similar performance here to come back. And a timeout looks like it's been called on the ice. Are we sure who called it? Yes, it's RPI that called it with 3:29 to go in the third. And Rensselaer leading 3-1 the score here in Troy, New York. With that timeout, let's go to the NBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard here on this Friday night. As again, right now, Colgate trailing Rensselaer 3-1. Pair of third period goals the difference. And here's what we have. The one non-league game, Quinnipiac still trailing. It's Merrimack 4, Quinnipiac 2. In league play, Harvard 5, Clarkson 3. That's now with about 3 minutes left. St. Lawrence still up on Dartmouth 3-1. And Cornell 2, Union nothing. End of the second in Schenectady. That game a bit delayed as that was a TV game, so a bit later of a start. And then Yale 1, Brown nothing. End of the second in Providence. And that's what you have on the MBT Bank out-of-town scoreboard. And the timeout is over, and it is almost like a church in here. It's so quiet. You'd think the place would be rocking with the home team winning 3-1. Go figure. Cornwall line of the ice for Colgate out of the timeout with Lon Corky. Don Vaughn to the whiteboard out over on the bench, drawing up something. Shots on goal 22-17 for the Engineers. Draw one back to the right point. RPI pressures the point. Liljegren knocks the puck down the ice. And Kyle Bond will go back to retrieve for Colgate, where he's immediately double-teamed left corner of the Raiders zone. 3:16 to play in the third. RPI 3, Colgate 1. Law hauled down by McGowan coming out of the Raiders zone. And a penalty on the Engineers. Holding the call, says Cameron Lynch. And again, the fans calling for the officials' heads here. Well, I say this a lot, but if there's a time that Colgate is going to get back in this game, this is it. McGowan for holding at 16:50 of the third. Key situation here for Colgate. Bond, Tyson Spink, Tyler Spink, Lidgett, and Galakis, the 5 on the ice. Colgate needs a goal here on its 4th power play of the night. Tyler Spink wins the faceoff. Colgate offensive zone right. Lidgett and Galakis the point men. Galakis puts the puck to the end boards. Now it's Bond behind the net, left corner. Tyler Spink. He's triple teamed at RPI. Takes the puck and Prapavessis scales it down the ice. RPI has done its homework. Credit to the assistant coaches really for devising a great game plan here against Colgate. 2:47 to go in the third. 3-1 Rensselaer. Bond will flip the puck in, crossing over the red line. First man there, left corner, Boken for. He can't golf it free. Galakis, left point, holds the zone. Now top the left circle for Bond. Half wall for Tyler Spink, and he'll pass the puck away. And Finn going to the bench. The puck nearly went into the empty net. Finn is off. 6-on-5 skater advantage. Actually, it's a 6-on-4. Colgate's on the power play. The Raiders through the neutral zone turn the puck over, but get it right back with Murphy carrying in right side. Murphy across the line. Puck sticked away from him, but held in by Johnston. No, says Michael Amanishin. Amanishin about 5 feet behind the blue line called the offsides, and Murphy giving him an earful. Amanishin kind of shooing him away, being very demonstrative with his hands. Murphy doesn't want to hear it. Now he's jawing with one of the referees. Darcy's got to keep his cool here. The Raiders cannot lose him to a misconduct. Not that I agree with the call. It was a bang-bang play. Both benches working the officials here. On the face-off just outside the RPI stripe. Colgate trying to get a change, but it's blocked. And right now it's Harrison, Bond, Joe Wilson, Kulovich, and Johnston, the 5 on the ice. Finn back in goal for the moment. Now as Colgate gains the zone, Finn will go to the bench. The Raiders trailing 3-1. Bond, big body check behind the net. Can't win the puck though, and RPI's got an empty net in a 3-on-3. And from behind the red line, Leonard will just ice it, and then Law nearly puts the puck into his net, playing it off the end boards. Under 2 minutes to go, 42 seconds left on the power play here in the third. Colgate net empty, 6-on-4. Johnston, high right. Kulovich, high left, lines up the slap cannon shot, blocked by Leonard to the left wing corner. 1:40 to play here in Troy. Harrison, right wing half boards. Goal line right, give and go. Chip across the top of the crease, broken up. Johnston, high right, carries into the slot, angling, shooting, and it's blocked into the left wing corner by Prapavessis. RPI simply looking to tie the play up along the wall. 1:22 left in the third period. Colgate trailing 3-1. 6-on-4 power play. Joe Wilson up top. Kulovich with a laser. Missed the net wide right. RPI penalty over. Screenshot redirection by Bond. 1:07 to play. Bond missed the net. It's a 6-on-5. McGowan out of the sin bin to join the play. Colgate's got it spread out. Joe Wilson with a bad angle shot. And a save made by Kastorf, and no rebound given. Hard to get the puck through. 5 white shirts in front of what is a very big goalie. 59.2 seconds left. Things come to a slight halt as both teams get personnel changes here. Colgate had wanted Darcy Murphy and Tyler Spink on the ice for that last sequence. The change was blocked, which is why you had kind of a mix and mash out there of Colgate forwards. And now Don Vaughn uses his timeout with 59 seconds left, needing Lightning to strike here at Houston Fieldhouse in the form of 2 goals in 59 seconds. Raiders hockey tonight brought to you by Hamilton Orthopedic. Are you one of those people who allow pain to control your quality of life? And if you're ready to get back into the game, call Hamilton Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine and make an appointment with one of the physicians that have earned their hospital a 5-star rating in orthopedic services. Call 315-824-1250 and make it happen. Tonight's game also brought to you by Bernie Bus. Bernie Bus Services has been the exclusive provider of Colgate transportation for 28 years, and Bernie Bus is a proud supporter of Colgate Athletics. Take the Bernie Bus Colgate Cruiser to class, to the bookstore, or to the game. That's Bernie Bus Services. Safe, reliable, and courteous transportation. Go Gate. Out of the timeout, John Lidgett, Tyson Spink, Tyler Spink, Kyle Bond, Darcy Murphy, Spiro Galakis. The Engineers, Victor Liljegren, Matt Neal, Curtis Leonard, Milos Bubella, and freshman Michael Prempavessis. Colgate net empty, 6-on-5 skater advantage. The Raiders have a couple of EAGs this year. Face off near side right, offensive zone right. Tyler Spink already coiled up to draw, the junior from Williamstown, Ontario. He's been so good in the face-off circle tonight. This one's a big one here. Lidgett directing traffic with his stick as he gets down on the near side right. Into his face-off stance. Lidgett slightly to the right of Tyler Spink, who wins the draw back to Galakis. Screenshot off a leg, never made it on goal. Bubella comes up with it. Chipped out ahead. Liljegren's got one man to beat in an empty net. Stop and go move, 48 seconds left, and he turns the puck over. Tyler Spink jumped the route. He and Bond to the offensive zone. Tyler chip into the right corner, 3-1 RPI, 40 seconds to play. Leonard wins the puck behind the net, banks it off the window and out. Matt Neal now with an open net, gets around Galakis. Neal driving the net, shoots, and he scores. 3 third-period goals for Rensselaer. Matt Neal has taken the hearts of Raider Nation tonight with 2 goals and an assist in this period alone. And it's Rensselaer 4, Colgate 1. RPI averaging 1.7 goals per game coming in. Just its 5th time with more than 2 goals this year. And the Engineers tonight have put a stamp on this one with 3 third-period goals. Fans chanting overrated at Colgate. Raiders have not necessarily played up to their ranking tonight with kind of a not-so-good performance. 20 seconds left. Back to live action. These two teams will meet again coming up. Bourbonnais trying to drive the net. He's blocked off by Mike Panowick. RPI offensive zone left, wanting one more. Karate screenshot out top. Somehow Finn sees it and stops it with 6.8 seconds left. Well, if you're listening at home, Colgate was not going to win every game the rest of the season and go on like that to a national championship. Not to be negative, because I'm not, but the winning streak at some point was going to end. And unfortunately, tonight it comes to an RPI team that, well, frankly, has not really played well, but wanted it more tonight and finished off its chances. That's the difference tonight. Colgate could not finish its chances, and the forwards never really got going. Matt Neal, a senior, making senior plays tonight. And the teams have lined up for what likely will be the final face-off of the game. 6 seconds left. Puck rolls into the right corner. Thrown out front. Bourbonnais on the doorstep with a backhander that's stopped. And that's how the game ends. Pushing and shoving ensues, but it won't matter. The train whistle sounds here in Troy, and the Engineers, with the Raiders in their sights on the train tracks, roll them right over here in Troy. 4-1 the final score here at Houston Fieldhouse, and the Raiders are going to have to forget about this one, quickly burn the tape, and get ready for Union tomorrow night. The Dutchmen were trailing Cornell at last check 2-0, so that could be a game tomorrow night with two teams needing wins after maybe not so good performances, depending on how Union ends up. So the final here tonight in Troy is 4-1 at Rensselaer. The Engineers earned their 6th league win of the season in their 12th game, whereas the Raiders, well, they've got some thinking to do back at the hotel. 4-1 the final score tonight. We'll step aside for a 3-minute break, then come back with Raiders post-game. You're listening to Colgate Raiders Hockey back after 3 minutes on 94 KXZ. Okay. Peterson, Murphy, Law, Corky, the 5 of the ice for the Maroons. Face off the win, back to Law with a drive, and he scores! Kevin Law with a low Raider rocket. Okay. Well, at least that's over. Yeah, that game was uglier than the last chick at the bar at like 3 in the morning. Oh, crap. Well, hello again, friends, and welcome back here to Colgate Raiders Hockey on 94 KXE. It is a final tonight here at Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York, and we're back for Raiders postgame as the Raiders have a 4-game winning streak come to an end in, well, not so great fashion with a 4-1 loss to the RPI Engineers. RPI decisively 3 goals in the third period to break a 1-1 tie. Matt Neal, the hero for RPI, the senior forward, one of the few top players left after last year's defections to the pros, and he really did it to Colgate tonight with 2 goals and an assist in the final frame. They got RPI 4-1 winners over Colgate here in Troy. My name is John McGraw. Again, we're back here for Raiders postgame. And tonight, the slightly unhappy recap. But as I noted late in the period, Colgate was not going to win every game remaining. College hockey, there's lots of parity in it. And certainly, I think tonight is another one of those lessons for a team that's very good. But at the same time, it needs to realize that, look, you have to bring it every night. You can't just go out there and make fancy plays and beat a team that, at least on paper, does not look very good. And RPI now is at Colgate's number 5-0-1 in the last 6 games of the Engineers against the Raiders. Again, that Austin Smith 4-goal game not too long ago, the last time that Colgate beat RPI. And feels like eons ago at this point here of the night, but let's go through the final numbers. With the loss, Colgate drops to 13-7-1 overall and 5-3-1 in ECAC hockey. Meanwhile, RPI 8-16-1, 6-6-0 in ECAC hockey. And the Engineers also with a win leapfrog Colgate in the ECAC standings as well. And we'll give you those in just a moment here as we roll along on Raiders postgame. So that's a check of the records. Scoring by period for Rensselaer, 1 in the first and then 3 in the third for a game total of 4. For Colgate, just 1 in the first, and that was it. Final shots on goal total here. Final shots 25-18 for the Engineers as RPI flat out dominated the shots on goal category in the third period of play. Shots by period as we move along through here with, again, the final of 4-1. RPI beating Colgate. Shots by period. First for the Engineers, 3 in the first, 5 in the second, and then 17 in the third period for a game total of 25. For Colgate, 3 in the first, 9 in the second, and 6 in the third for a game total of 18. Total shot attempts, though, Colgate 47, RPI 38. The big category for Rensselaer down the stretch was blocks. RPI 18 to Colgate 6. RPI as a team coming into the game averaging about 13 blocks per game, so RPI very much over its season high right there as the Engineers played a strong defensive game, but at times a very sloppy offensive game. But, well, it did not matter in the end. Again, the final 4-1 Rensselaer. Power plays, the teams combined to go 0 for 7 as Colgate goes 0 for 4, RPI 0 for 3. Face-offs for Colgate, 36-23, the final there. 14 minutes combined of penalties in this game. goalie numbers, Charlie Finn ended up seeing 24 shots. He made 19 saves, a low for him at some time, and kind of a crummy way to spend your 22nd birthday if you're Charlie Finn, but it is what it is, and this team will certainly rebound, I think. And I don't doubt that. With what over the last 2 to 3 years has been a very, very short memory, this team has had some very good highs and it's had some depressing lows, and really they've moved on from each and kind of turned the page each night. And again, they'll need to do that tomorrow.